Sorry for the delay, folks, but welcome to Fully Charged Europe, episode 5. This is the ETF2L season 17 preview. It's been a long day. There's an article just gone live there. Another epic, totally inoffensive and extremely bland, but I'll give you all those lists of teams and players coming up to compete in season 17 in Division 1 and the Premiership. And in my train of thought here, but we'll quickly divert to our panel. I'm going to start off by giving it to CommanderX, and everybody can introduce somebody else. CommanderX, he's here. He's in the trenches of Division 2. He's our representative. See what's happening down there. Way down there. How's it going, buddy?
I think you'll find we'll be in Division 1 next season. FYI. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm here. I just got back from work and I've lost my cigarettes, so now I'm sad. Jason, you like cigarettes. Tell me something about yourself.
Oh, wow.
Hello. I'll be playing TF2 this season. Happy to be here. Take it away, Ips.
Hello, thanks for having me. Just discovered an ingrown hair on my back. Hurts a lot. Thanks for having me again. It's Dikker's time now to say hello.
Hello everyone. Greets is power.
I'm glad to have a Russian here. This is a first, I think, for teamfortress.tv, maybe the internet. And finally, we have...
Did Skeej say hello?
Oh wow, thanks for introducing me, Dikker.
Oh, sorry.
Hi. I'm learning the way of the crits as well, thanks to Sickless.
Okay, I'm not sure if you guys have had time to read the article, but all you really need to do is look at the list of teams and who's playing in these rosters. I think we'll maybe start from the bottom and take a look at those teams that are going to be in Division 1. Like, a lot of teams folded last season, and essentially there are 4 spots available in Division 1 and in the Premiership. And by my calculations, the spots that are definitely secure in Division 1 belong to Phoenix, captained by Skeej. Then you have 425, captained by Dikker. You got Did I Stutter and We Don't Care, who actually earned promotion. There was another team, Auto Anime, who earned promotion, but they're not going to continue because TF2 sucks. Skeej, tell me about your dreams and aspirations for season 17.
Going Prem? At least trying
really?
to. Yeah?
So now you told me last season, man. You said you were going to go Prem and then you didn't beat TLR. Didn't finish 3rd.
Yeah, things happen. Things might happen again, but we'll see. We'll do our best.
That's what this show's all about, man. Busting balls, calling people out. I wrote a very
that's fair enough.
bland article. Now you have to face the fire. Alright, you made a few changes in your roster. Talk me through it. What's your mindset? Have you actually finalised it yet? Have you got yourself a demo man?
No, we haven't. So we still have GF and Delzik on Scout, Kilari on Roamer, but Sakper decided to quit TF2, I guess, for this season. And Salmon, lovely Pockets, and also main caller had to leave the team because he's going to Canada. We've tried playing with him actually with like 110 ping on the best server, but well, he himself said it's hard to do. So he will play as backup. Maybe we'll see him in a game somewhere. And yeah, we've been.
What does
trying...
this mean about color then? Who's going to step up to the mic?
Me, but then we don't have the comp that Salmon usually brings, so it becomes problematic at times.
What are Salmon's comms like? I'm jumping in, I'm dead. I'm spawning, I'm jumping in, I'm dead, I'm spawning.
Salmon is secretly the greatest admirer of Darn. He said that he has learned the way of the Darn, and he says that Darn is the best caller ever in the game.
We'll have to put the strength of your team in the scouts, I guess. I mean, I'm interested to hear some other opinions on the current Phoenix roster as it stands. I suppose there's only 4 players, but let's go to CommanderX. What do you think of these guys? Are you scared?
I have fun every time I play against Skeej's team because Kalari's for Roma, and it's fun to watch. So I like Kalari.
Is this shots being fired?
I don't know. Every time I've had a one-on-one with him, I've won, and I'm not impressed. But I'm not impressed, but I'm entertained, and that's the most important thing in TF2.
I guess I will have to have a look at his demos.
Get right on that.
Dikker, have you played against Phoenix recently? Can you attest to their skill? Are they any good? Garbage? Will they make it to Prem?
I don't remember actually. We played versus Did I Stutter now last game. We won it. We think we will be top 4 maybe in Div 1 this season due to lack of roster because everyone leave us.
Are you guys not signing up for Prem?
I don't know yet. We just played 2 days together. We just added our last scout spot, so we need more practice. Well, we have 5 days, yes, to start the season.
Let's talk about 425. I mean, you had sort of a breakthrough season. You impressed a lot of people in the playoffs pre-season, and then sort of struggled to make it to promotion. Like, what's happened since MSH left your roster at the end of the season? What's been going on in Russia?
Message is a very aggressive guy. he was kicked actually. After this, Young leave us, and Anak lose motivation. Come down, lose Anak and lose motivation. Everyone gone. So
they left because MSH left. You just all followed him, or
no. MSH left, and the Young left with him. Anak just lose motivation, and now he plays pubs, Russian pubs with crits, heavies, and etc.
Wow, that sucks. Tell me about the new guys. I don't know Lippy. I don't know Sean John. Are they the next big thing?
Lippy was in I don't remember, Ukrainian team. It was in Div 2 maybe 3 seasons ago. Sean John was in Versus last team. He played with Enek, so he knows how to play with us. Sean John is the Russian, not MG King, he's like the third maybe after Empty and Quick.
Empty, the guy who always quits before he loses. Okay.
Exactly.
And you say you just confirmed your last scout. Was that Kenzie?
Kenzie, yeah. He's an amazing sniper, by the way.
Why didn't you take Tracker, man? Tracker is the greatest sniper I've ever seen.
Yeah, we
playing
know.
in my Highlander team.
Yeah, we talked with him on the last LAN. We're drinking, and we just understand that Tracker don't have that 6 versus 6 level experience like in Highlander. So he can play sniper in 6s, but scout, we need scout. That's why.
I understand. And right now, you don't feel confident about your season. You're not going to be trying to go for promotion. You just want to survive, or do you think the roster is good enough?
After today's PCVs practice, okay. I think we can maybe top 2, top 3, and make our road to Prem, but it will be very hard. We need to work.
I'm going to throw it open. Anybody got an opinion on 425? Kaidus and Ips, you know, they're up there in their ivory tower in the Prem. They probably don't play Russian teams like this. You guys got anything to say?
We just played one. We played a Russian team tonight. And for a second I thought it was 425, but they're not.
Right.
You thought that as well, right?
I thought we were playing 425 until I asked what their name
But
was.
it wasn't. What's the team called we played? Lethal Weapons.
Lethal Weapon. Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's
we
jump
have
on
no
that.
idea.
Oh wait, I just made that mistake as well.
Let's
So
bounce
I don't
around here.
really know.
Lethal Weapon is the new team headed up by Forsaken. He seems to be trying to cherry pick the best Russian talent. He's got White Glow there, GDK, the amazing crits combo. I think he was originally trying to play Demo Man, but that didn't work out. And now he's got MSH and Yangpai, who he stole from Dikker and 425. And a young man called Shadowburn, who is apparently the next big thing.
He's the best player in
Russia's
the
answer
world.
to Mike. Tell me about him, Commander X.
This one time we played them, and all we hear once we get to mid is Crouton manages to get triple air shot as scout before anyone else arrives at mid.
Wow.
I don't even know what happened.
Is he practicing that?
I don't know. I don't know how you get triple air shot at any point as a scout, let alone first thing on mid. But he managed it. He's a defensive scout as well, so I don't know what he was doing, but he achieved it.
Those must have been some long range air shots, man, not to die after 2, like. But
I don't know.
How did your game go then, Kaidus and Ips?
We won
Yeah,
pretty
You
convincingly.
smashed them.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think we smashed them. It was like
In 15 minutes, we
It
saw
was
it.
like 6-1, and then we restarted Badlands, and it was 2-1 after the 10 minutes on Badlands or something.
oh yeah, we beat them pretty bad on Badlands, but I think on Gully it was like close-ish. Oh no, it was 5-1. Okay,
No, I
we
expected a
smashed
bit
them.
more
Yeah, we
because
smashed them.
I heard certain things about certain plays, so I expected certain rollouts and certain roamer skills, and they didn't really came through. So, but that's maybe because I have Sam and Bash, and they're the best.
Alright, well, let me just make things really confusing. Hopefully people have scanned the article a little bit, but we'll jump ahead and I'll point out that, again, there are 4 slots in the Premier Division. TLR, Evocate, Deserto, he might even fold it, we don't know, and Lego are all guaranteed a spot. That leaves 4. And ideally, I would be the guy saying make everybody play off, but there's a time limit and admins live in the real world. So I'm guessing that we might see Mead in Germany getting a spot in the Prem, maybe Daughter, but outside that, I'm skeptical. Do you think this Russian team you just played, Lethal Weapon, do they deserve a shot at the playoffs to get into Prem? I'm not going to give them a spot, but were they that good, or is it hard to judge?
It's really hard to judge at the moment because for us it was like the second or third time playing together, so we don't really have a huge scale on the teams that are out there and trying to get in Prem at the moment. We played them and Deserto tonight, and we played like TLR a lot recently in the other games, so we haven't seen them all. It's hard to judge at the moment.
How many teams are like vying for the playoff spots that are like, well, not the playoff spots, but for the Prem spots that are like, if you assume like the Germans and the Swedes get one, just because of history, like how many spots are left for how many teams?
So we'll have 2 spots. You're going to have Skeej's team, Phoenix, trying to get in there. Then no one else from Division 1 has applied for Prem. So it's all the new teams. You got Mela Mulnox's team, Lethal Weapon from Forsaken, AO Girl, Sugar Daddy Hood, Pussy Creepers, headed up by Poop Show. So those 4 trying to get two spots.
Well, I would go
playoff.
Yeah, well, like I would give one.
Like talking to Poop or Permzilla. I don't know if it was off the record or not, but the admins always prefer the simplest option. They'd ideally like to just have 1 spot up for grabs and have like 2 teams fighting for it or something. But
why?
Just because it's easiest to organise, it's the least hassle.
Wow. Okay.
It's not like they've had 3 months to prepare this or something. Come on. But those would be the 4 teams. I'm
So
just.
who is the 4th one? The Brits, Phoenix, the Russians, and who else? Oh, the French.
French.
Okay.
Next team.
Yeah, well, I would give, from what I've seen, like, I don't know, I don't think there's anything much to separate those 4 apart from the Brits. Like, they only played once, but they looked a lot more impressive than the others have. So if you want to narrow it down to leaving 1 spot open, I'd say you have the other 3 teams going for 1 spot, with the Frenchies probably the obvious favourites.
We want to play the Swedes with Rib on demo first.
Yeah, well, I
See
guess
what happens.
these are the 4 teams we should debate at least. I mean, Skeej, have you played any of these teams? Have you played the Russians we just talked about?
Yeah, it's been like very back and forth. They're not bad. I think we played them 2 PCWs, so 4 maps. I think they did win 3 out of 4, but it's always like by 1 point, 1 round point or 2.
How would you describe their style? Are they typical Russian, very aggressive, crits when they're losing?
Yes, crits when they're losing, but not as aggressive as we expect. Like, especially when they, when you gain momentum and you're able to cap a point, and it seems like it's easy to keep pushing. They actually slow it down and regain like position and health, and they wait before they push. Very un-Russian like.
Forsaken told me he's trying to make them play. Like he said, he learned a lot from Byte last season, and he's trying to make them play
Okay, I guess that
more
figures.
standard European.
I said that as a joke earlier, but I didn't realise it was actually the case. I was talking to the Did I Starter guys, because apparently they played them before. I think I saw the Funkadelic, and he said they played really slow.
Yeah, way slower
Who?
than
Which team,
normal
sorry?
Russian team.
The Russian team he played.
Forsaken's team.
Oh yeah. Where we expected them to run crits full time and be very aggressive, and they just never really did that.
I mean,
That's
that's
surprising.
a good place to start from, I suppose, if you're a new team trying to train up. If you can learn to play slowly, then you can speed things up later. But has anybody witnessed this Shadowburn guy in action? I know CommanderX has been bigging up his legend with the triple air shot. But
He caught all my air rockets tonight. That's what I was talking about. I heard a lot of stories that apparently the jukebox rollouts of like 2 years ago are now called sideburn jumps or shadowburn shadowburn jumps and whatnot. And I was really not that impressed today, at least. I mean, we played them once now. We will see what happens next. But that might work in Div 2, but it's not working against us, at least at the moment.
maybe you
Like
should
all
translate
sideburn
tips with Ips into Russian. There's a whole
Into
market there,
Russia?
man.
Nah.
Maybe it
Just
doesn't work because team isn't backing him up.
Right, I'll give you some gossip, guys. You know, I'll just like all those people who were talking to me for the interview or for the article that thought it was off the record. Everything's on the record. Apparently, MSH has been a little bit underperforming. They had their doubts. You know, he's very aggressive. He chases down a lot of things, and Forsaken, he was thinking about it. He was thinking he could maybe replace him with Rico. But it seems he's stuck with MSH for now. How long do you give it before MSH quits the team?
I know
or
more
leaves?
info. I know more
Tell
info.
me.
Rico doesn't know if he's able to play full time. So I think it's Forsaken said a month. In a month, Rico will find out whether he can play full time or not. And at that point, they're going to make a decision on who to cut for Rico. I'm told the decision's not been made yet, but it's not going to be decided for a month when Rico finds out what he can do.
Wow, that sucks for MSH. I'm just stirring shit here.
That
Anyone
team
else
probably
got
unfolded
Surica?
by then, so it probably won't even matter.
Anyone
Like
else want to jump in my shitstorm?
those Russians always get together and they always fold like within like 2 weeks. GDK will just leave, and then Forsaken will play demo for a week, and then they'll give up.
Forsaken
like-
said he said he talked to GDK as like you quite often leave after like a couple of weeks. It's not going to happen this time.
He's done it like
And
5 times,
and
he
GDK
always
said
says he won't, and he always
GDK
does.
said I don't really think that's happened. And that was the conversation.
It's like the same story every season.
Yeah, it really is.
The Russians get together, like one of them will be like, okay, let's make an all-star Russian team, let's get the best Russian players. They get all the best Russian players together, then GDK leaves, there's no other Russian demo available. So like one guy will just go off class on demo, they'll get a subpart replacement for whoever's now off classing. They'll lose like for a week and then they'll give up. Or they'll play out the season and come bottom, as they did one time.
Yeah.
I want to hear what Dikker has to say. What do you think? Who's the best team in Russia right now? Is it Lethal Weapon?
No. God, no. They have a message they can't be the best team.
Oh,
Shots fired.
Easy.
I agree.
It's easy. He's changing his HUD every time, every day.
He's just
Every
looking for that
day.
golden HUD. He's looking for
and
the
he
winning
play
HUD.
with Razor Taipan.
He have 10 folders in TF2. With
Is it
different
true
HUDs.
that MSH has never finished a season?
Yes. He played with us 6 weeks and then he leaves. Not
Why
full
did he
season.
leave? Why did he leave? I don't understand. You guys were up and coming.
He don't like me. I
Mhm.
just didn't save him sometimes and he raging on everyone.
Tell me real quick about We Don't Care, the other Russian team that's come up. How do they stack up against 425 and Lethal Weapon? If you were to rank those teams, 1, 2, 3, who fits where?
Oh, we don't care third. And we and the lethal weapon will be
Join
one
first.
or two. I don't know what place we will take. Maybe the fourth Russian team will be in the season. Maybe ISIS with Gallant.
Dare I ask, has anyone else played against We Don't Care? They just won Div 2, they've come up. You might have seen them at that Pixling LAN we casted during the season.
Was it a team?
Who's their lineup?
They
don't play
got
now.
Duff, Noodles, Burv, Mr. Epic.
It's
They
just
had a
played,
guy Faton, and they
something.
had Shadowburn. They had Shadowburn.
yeah,
Here
they
they
just they just played 2 practice games, maybe in 1 week. 2 games, 2 maps. That's all.
Super keen.
Okay, so they're one of the teams that are sort of an unknown quantity. Again, one of the most interesting teams, I guess, is going to be made in Germany. We got 2 of their players here right now. Maybe I'll just throw it over to Ips there, and he can tell me about the genesis of Made in Germany. How did this team come together?
Bash contacted me like 2 months ago, 1.5 months ago, and said that on New Year, that Epsilon will fold at least for ETF2L, and then that he wants to do like a German team and try to win the next prize pool between, or the next prize pools between that time, like New Year's Eve and I-52. So I said yes, I'm up for it. If time comes and everything is cool for me and everything is sorted, I'm definitely game. Then we didn't talk about it for like ages, like late December we started to actually talk about who we want as demo men, or who we want to trial at least. And obviously for me, being a fucking fanboy of kaidus that I am, I considered him as a trial as well, but also was a fan of just going full German comms. Obviously that would be a huge upgrade to our non-English players game basically. And yeah, we played a bit with Thai, we played tons of mixes with him. I didn't really feel him, I didn't really feel that he tried his hardest, and the other guy Brigo that we wanted to, or that we considered as well, made himself unavailable for a long time, and because he didn't really want to play TF2 when it was off season, so it was hard to actually make a decision there. So in the end we just went for kaidus because I know that he would bring some consistency and that he likes to play really aggressive as well. And I heard from Bash and Gear when we talked about our game style that we basically want to play very aggressive this season. No breaks.
Why did you give Thai a shot?
It was Bash's and like the others' idea, obviously, because they had this romantic image of the old Made in Germany or Button Bash's times in their head, that he would just come back and it would be like in the old days. It was a bit like in the old days. It was like in the old days, just with 2 years of the game actually evolving while he didn't evolve as a player. So he would still sticky points when people would push into the point and trying to get to your medic, and he just went for sticky traps all night long. It fucking got to me so much. It was just weird. Like, you could clearly tell that someone didn't play, like someone was not taking part in the process of the game changing after I-52, when our European game style changed so much.
You mean I-46?
I-46, I'm sorry. What did I say?
I-52.
Get ahead of yourself,
didn't.
mate.
Oh, maybe it's gonna change again. We don't know. Yeah, that
It's
was
his
the
crystal
plan.
ball.
And now we played some scrims together. We have good results. Sometimes we mess up a bit, and then I think we lost one map so far to TLR, if I'm not mistaken. There's like huge differences in the understanding of the game at the moment, especially between like in the combo with Thune not having played Premiership in like ever, and Medic as well. It's just something new for him, and with the Epsi guys, they know exactly how to perma push and perma be aggressive, so it's new. We're getting together, but it's a lot of fun. Like for me, I learn a lot, like playing with Gear and Bash in this team and playing with them in Epsi is is a good TF2 school at the moment.
I mean, you're the pocket, right, Ips? And I said in my article, it's sort of obvious, like, Thune's going to be the guy that's going to be picked on, he's going to be scrutinised. Are you taking him under your wing? Are you trying to coach him in how you want him to play Medic?
You know how when with Thune, it's like, when everything was still smooth with the team, I watched a lot of things, a lot of demos of him trying to figure out what we're doing wrong, and then we talked about it in like on the weekends and stuff, and yeah, that's all scheduled for me and Thune now as well, so it's exactly the same thing, just playing together. And Thune is keen, like he wants to improve, and I think he realizes his mistakes afterwards, and that's good. I mean, everyone is doing mistakes. For me, like when we started to play just recently, I hadn't played TF2 for like 1.5 months, like keen TF2. I played mixes and stuff, but that's not the real deal, and I was so bad, it was unbelievable, so it took me some time to get back into the game as well.
Tell me this, a little bit of a personal question. Obviously, you recently become a father.
Yeah.
How much time are you planning to commit to this team, or will you be less keen than you have been in previous seasons? You know, going back to like Crack Clan or whatever.
I
You
have
might
to
commit
be
it more
like,
time.
I think it's a privilege now to be able to play with these calibers of players because I have to commit less time. Like I think this team overall, if we find our chemistry and if we find our flow, will be low maintenance in comparison to the other teams. Because they are carrying, like they care as much as I do. Like whenever something goes wrong, I know that Gear cares more about that mistake happening over and over again, maybe than I even do. So that gives me, like he then figures out the problem, he gives me a solution, and that makes me having to care less, basically, or having to invest less time.
You can be more efficient with your time then.
Yeah.
Is this the dream team that you've been working towards ever since you appeared on the scene?
Probably.
Kaidus, how do you feel? You know, you've been there and thereabouts in a lot of seasons, often close to victory, but never. Oh no, you did win one season, but I mean, you feel good about this team? Are you looking for gold? Is anyone going to be able to stand up to Made in Germany?
I don't know about who will be able to stand up to us. I haven't really played. We've only played a couple of times. Like the other guys in this team know more about that than I do because they've been playing with Epsilon as well. But I don't know. It's all kind of weird for me. Like I was, like 2 weeks ago, I was expecting to join either Fenix or Did I Star, and then like Bash just tells me to join, so I just joined. So it's all kind of like happened at once for me. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm pretty excited. Like it's been a while since I played in a team that you'd say was like this star-studded, like the last year or so. Apart from Infused, I was kind of always like on that fourth spot, trying to like train up people that couldn't quite mess it with Epsilon and Broder and whatnot. So yeah, I'm happy.
You're going to be
Looking
unleashed
good.
this season, man. I mean, you have a team of guys who are like at your level in terms of game sense and whatever. You can focus entirely on playing out of your skin. Is that exciting for you? Are you really looking forward to this season?
Well, yeah, it's going to be good. Like, I don't know, I've been kind of subdued the last few days. Like, I changed my sense, so I've been kind of getting used to that. I went back to an old one that I used to use before my mouse messed up faster, and it could be a lot sharper, do more jumps and that sort of thing. So, yeah, like, it'll take a while, like a week or so still, because we're not playing that much because of Epsilon. But, yeah, when we get going, I think it'll be pretty swell.
I'm excited, and there was a little dynamic going on there because, like you say, it sort of came out of nowhere that you joined the team because previously it seemed like they favoured a German demo man, but then I'm sure people are wondering. I was going to put a little bit at the end of the article about where some key players are, but Stefan has disappeared off the face of the earth. I understand that he's now playing in Division 2 with his girlfriend. Confirm or deny?
Well, confirm.
What is that all about?
Well, what is that all about? What do you think is that all about? Like, why are you playing video games with your girlfriend? There's one thing you want to get in those panties, y'all.
Oh wow, that wasn't really the angle I was looking for. But what class is Stefan going to be playing down there in the doldrums?
Soldier.
Soldier. And what is
Soldier.
his-
Roaming soldier without gunboats because he thinks gunboats are for noobs.
what is his
Actual
movement like?
quote.
He just wants hit scan.
What is his
like a
girlfriend
scout?
I think medic, maybe, I don't know. Like, what do gods play in TF2? Is medic or scout?
Yeah, fucking new class.
Shots fired. Okay. But was it Stefan then sort of making that decision to leave the roster? Is that what changed the minds towards Kaidus? Was he someone who was resisting it particularly, or was it just that the other options weren't good enough?
The other options were just not good enough.
What happened
And
to
one
Brigo?
option,
Does he never give it a shot?
that's what I said. Like Brigo never took the shot. Like, we asked him a couple of times if he wanted to play TF2 with us, and he was like, "I'm not really feeling like TF2 at the moment." So this was also a weird time to trial people because no one was actually looking forward to play TF2 during the winter break. Yeah, you know, like these absence of good mixes and double mixes and everything made people just not really feeling TF2. So it was hard to motivate someone to actually go for trials now or whatever.
But now
Yeah.
we've got Pick Up 2 active again, man. TF2 lives.
Yeah.
Anybody else actually played against made in Germany? CommanderX, Dikker, Skeej?
No.
We did.
The
Tell
Prem
me how it
teams do
went.
not play us.
Was it painful?
It started out surprisingly well for us, but then, yeah, this is what I expected. Like that lineup just knows how to adapt very quickly to something, which
I think that
we
was
don't.
I think that was our very, very first game together, at least with me.
Okay.
Was
Just
it
to
deja
give
vu,
context
Skeej? Was
to-
it just like
Oh
playing
wait,
Epsilon again?
well, were we playing with Sickles and Slate, right?
No
Maybe.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
so
had them.
Sickles was there.
We had them for the first time, and I know wasn't really feeling it with Slate.
Different story.
Wasn't
I mean,
feeling
jump back
it.
to Phoenix there. Who is the number one contenders right now for those spots in your team, Demo and Soldier? You want to speak
Well,
your mind, Skeej, or are you going to play your cards close to your chest?
I haven't told Slate this, but I think we're not going to trial him anymore. So on Soldier will be between mine.
Slate, if you're listening.
Big drama.
Yeah, it's simply because there's not enough time. Otherwise, we would definitely have played with him some more. But, season is starting. So on Soldier, Clar will trial last minute on Pocket. And otherwise, it will be mined. And then on Demo, it's between Hui and Sickles.
What's the story with mine? Did he like go to the army or something and then come back, or?
Yeah, and then he trained his aim.
Okay, yeah, because I remember thinking he could be good one day, and then he just wasn't around for forever.
I mean,
So
like,
he's army stuff over now, though.
back in Div 2 days, when I had a team, I don't even know which team it was anymore, but he merked a few times as scout, and like he was obviously one of the better Finnish scouts, and also one of the few Finnish players who actually uses comms and talks normal English.
I was going to say, I'm not sure if I've just been fooled by the fact he said more than 2 words. I think I'm always impressed when a Finnish person does that.
Yeah.
Just assume they're going to be good based on it alone.
It's just like Salmon, yeah, actually provides useful input and stuff. So I want to see, and that, like, because he just switched to Soldier, there's a lot of room for improvement, so it's always nice to have that.
Yeah, and he can snipe like a beast as well. I know maybe he's coming in as pocket
Is he?
there,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my question. If he's pocketing or roaming.
We can always switch back. Like we played with Killari on Pocket in the beginning of the season, but Killari's English is not very good, so it always causes for communication problems between me and him, and it caused for some frustration. So having Salmon on Pocket was better, but we'll see. Maybe we'll try it again, switched up.
All right, let us jump on to another team. I'm just going to scroll up randomly here. We heard mention of Did I Stutter earlier. They're thinking of potentially changing things up. They got Brago randomly. Buttnose told me the story that basically he was just chatting to Brago and he said, "Hey, you want to join my team?" And Brago was like, "Sure." So I said he's like too nice to say no. He finds himself in there in Did I Stutter. He seemed to have been going in reverse since like season 15. They finished 3rd, now they finished 5th. Will this be the season where Did I Stutter can turn things around? Who's got an opinion?
Is Partners on this roster?
Yes.
Then
And
not.
Dalash. They're the scout pair. Funkadelic was Demo Man, but now Brago's here. I think he's going to be Pocket, but he's got real internet problems. So then there's this long shot that Hat will play Pocket.
That would be sick.
Now
And they'll
last
get
as
a
well.
mid,
Now
maybe
last
bar.
all of a week.
We just
Yeah,
played
we
versus
went
Did I
mid-season.
Stutter, guys. Brego was demo and Head was medic for one map.
How did you guys do?
We won.
You won?
We won, yes. Easy
Ah,
won.
these guys are
Easy.
real bad. You finished above them in the league though. You were 4th, right? And they were 5th.
No,
Do you-
they won us because they had tweak. That's why we lose them last map in official.
Oh yeah,
Now,
Tweak.
now they don't have tweak. Easy won.
He's another player that has disappeared this season. I talked to him, guys, as well
Counter
in my
Strike.
research, and he's so done with TF2. He's not even playing Highlander anymore. He's just full-time CS:GO. So expect to see him at DreamHack Summer or something. I think he's even got himself a team now.
He's pretty amazing at the almost everything that he touches related to esports, right? Or like FPS. And I saw him playing CS:GO, and he's really incredibly good. So maybe that game suits him a bit more where he can play a bit more isolated than in TF2. I don't know.
The Swedish fatality.
Yeah, like CS is a game where creative players can really turn the game around. Tafik was always someone who was a great playmaker. It would be interesting to see him in CSGO.
Yeah, he was playing for the clutch plays. So yeah, the game suits him, and I think if he actually gets his shit together there, then he can go far. I mean, you could say that about every game that he plays. With the skill set that he has as a player, he's just a natural talent if he follows through and realizes that if he actually decides to play a team game, then there are other people in his team probably. Probably.
Kaidus, I had it in my mind that you told me, I'm not sure, I just wrote this article and one big blast there, but that you would have gone to Did I Star if you hadn't joined Made in Germany. Am I right?
No, what I said was if I didn't find a Prem team, I was going to join Did I Star, because I play with a lot of them in Highlander and stuff. I was considering joining Fenix if I played with them and felt they could go to Prem, I would probably have joined them, but because I got the offer from Made in Germany, I never got that far. But yeah, if I was going to not find a Prem team this season, I would definitely have joined them.
What is their problem then? Why aren't they contesting those promotion spots up to the Premiership, or why would you have put them bottom of your list? You want to point out a few flaws here. What can they do to improve? Who needs to get cut? The lash out?
What, for Did I Star?
Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant they I don't think they really wanted to play Prem. Even if they suddenly got 2 good upgrades, I don't think they want to hat and stuff. They never will PCW us or anything like that, unless it's an absolute last resort. They don't like to try crazy hard. They try in the game, but they're not really that ambitious, if you know what I mean. They're content to just play Div 1, and if they win it, then they'd probably play Prem, but I don't think they'd ever apply for it.
So it's just more like a social endeavour. They like to tread water in Division 1, have a little bit of challenge, but without trying hard.
Yeah, they just like to play. I mean, they were hindered last season, I'll be honest, by Funkadelic on demo. He really wasn't up to it. I merked for them a couple of times, and the difference was just amazing. On a mid-fight, he would, say, on Granary or something, he would roll out bottom left every time, but he'd be 10 years late to mid. So the mid was just over. If you do that against decent teams, the mid's just over before, the rest of the team gets there. And he would roll out there, every mid, and he'd get destroyed every mid, but he would never, change where he went. So it was just, too easy, and, talking to the others and that, they felt like they'd be a lot better if they got a good demo in. So now they have Brago. I don't know, I reckon, depending on how hard they try, and if Hat goes Soldier or not, they could be, in with a shot of winning Div 1 this season, because I think that was their main problem last season.
So Funkadelic having terrible internet can be the best thing that's happened to them?
Well, they're getting a new demo either way. I've not seen Funkadelic play Soldier. He's reasonably smart. His DM's not amazing, but it's okay. So he should be fine on Soldier, I think. Probably not the best, but
he's on Pocket as well, isn't he? So
yeah, he's not gonna if he has a bad day, it's not gonna completely drag the team down. Whereas if he wasn't on it on demo, it was just a nightmare for them.
He's played a lot of Soldier in the past, Team Ireland. He's learned from the best.
I think he's played 3 classes for this team now. He's played Scout, Demo, and Soldier for them, if I'm correct.
CommanderX, have you faced off against Did I Stutter yet?
No, we've only started playing on Monday, and we've only played a few days since. So we've mainly just been playing Russians.
Have you got any good screenshots?
No, no good screenshots. We lost both maps to TLR by only 1 round. That's about as good as it gets so far.
Oh, really?
That's a good screenshot.
TLR are one of the better teams. That's really good.
They're
playoff guaranteed, I think, for this season.
Oh, really? It was both last minute caps as well, but we're alright.
No, TLR are very, very good, I think, this season. Yeah. They will be top 4, without a doubt.
That's when we had War, though. I think everything for us kind of hinges on War.
Oh, right. Made a slight difference. Who do you have otherwise?
No, War is currently our only trialist.
Oh, right.
I say trialist, he's trialing us.
Who was them when you played us?
I think it was Leon.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. It was Leon's 3rd game back in a month, and we lost to you guys, and then we lost to the team who won Div 3 last season. We lost 5-0 to them, got absolutely smashed.
We're losing the connection to TLR.
Oh yeah, the last resort. We want to talk about them.
Top hosting.
Let me just, for the people who haven't read the article or don't have their finger on the pulse, basically they lost Evilmoon to World of Warcraft. He had really been dropping off in his interest, his focus on the game towards the end of the season. Apparently only played those last few games just out of a sense of responsibility. They got Merlin in there, the people's champion, medic of the season extraordinaire, the sickest Jukes in Europe. He's back. And then they also lost Nadir. He didn't get kicked out really clarified this with Heist. Apparently, he just left. It was his probation was over, and he had the option to join the French team.
Yeah.
And Heist, the snake, said he did.
That's fucking bullshit.
Said the deal was not cut. He just
Fucking
left.
bullshit.
You see, you're saying
Rising
Heist
came in.
he didn't kick someone who left his
Well,
team.
it's fucking
That's
bullshit.
what Heist told me.
Yeah,
Replaced,
whatever.
replaced.
You're not kicked, you're just placed with the better
He was never
Roman,
in the
but-
team. Oh, that was what it was. He was never in the team. He was always just on probation. He knew he had to perform this season, and then finishing fourth. That wasn't delivering the goods.
Okay, let's talk about it. Merlin is a sick upgrade in comparison to Evil Moon. Never really rated that Finnish guy. Merlin is one of the illest medics around, and he will probably listen to the stream a bit of Kyler when Kyler's in that team, yeah? Kyler and Rig, yeah.
Yep.
And Merlin is calling like the essential calls, like these backbone calls that the old TLR was missing with the medic not really having his head in the game. They have now with Merlin, and obviously his survival skills are superb. So it's a big upgrade, and I also think that Rising is a big upgrade on the roamer spot.
I would have said that Rising was the bigger upgrade.
Big upgrade.
Rising's really good.
Yeah, because I think like Hiss does a pretty good job of like controlling the combo, even if like it will take a load off his mind to know someone else is kind of doing that side of things. But like, kind of
but that's
the brain and the synergy on the flank was always a big thing because like Kyler
I guess, yeah.
kind of does his thing. He's just kyling kids, and Rake is kind of a bit random, a bit more passive and nearer the combo anyway. And Nadir, like he was like a newbie basically, new to Prem, new to Roamer even. So I think having like a Roamer who properly understands what's going on and is probably one of the best like having like smart roamers, if you know what I mean. I think that will have like a massive impact for them.
Yeah, but I felt that in the earliest, like, I don't know when did TLR play last season?
Yeah, they finished fourth. They got beat by TCM.
With even exactly. That there was always this downtime on comms, and Heist obviously is a good call and he's a great player. But if there comes like if he reaches his limits on calls and in insight and like ideas on how to play the game, then there was just silence and like you wouldn't get input of your scouts or whatever. So with Merlin, I felt that this is more important. Like I think Merlin would also be able to make smart calls for Nadir still being on the flank. You know.
Yeah,
You get my idea? So that's why I thought like him being there and having like two strong main callers and two intelligent main callers is just upgrading the game overall more than the
Will
role.
Heist allow someone to call
Yeah, he's
alongside
gonna.
him though?
I think he respects Merlin. Like Merlin is too prestigious.
Yeah,
Too prestigious to be like just pushed aside and not valued. So I think they're listening a lot to what he's saying.
Next thing, Merlin will replace his.
Merlin is actually quite underrated as like a brain in TF2, like because of his accent, his manner of
Persona.
speaking. Everyone just thinks he's like a bit stupid, I guess.
Yeah, he's
Like,
super smart.
he is really smart. Like it doesn't come across that way always. But I remember back in like FB, sometimes we would just do days where Merlin would main call instead of Xfane, and he didn't really, other than like the obvious difference in style, like you didn't have like the angry girlfriend
Agree,
style
yes,
of
he is.
caller. But
The
like,
angry girlfriend stuff.
I remember that's an admirable quote from a cast he did of the final ages ago. But yeah, like it worked just as good. Like he's really underrated in that regard.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that team, and they're really strong at the moment. We have
I got
good
a
games
little
against
bit
them.
of like, you know, I'm always digging for the dirt, man. So I was talking to a German scout who shall not be named, and he reckoned that at some point in this formation of this sort of new TLR roster during the off season, they were thinking of kicking someone else, and he wouldn't tell me exactly who, but I think maybe Rake was in the crosshairs for a while.
Yeah.
Like he had changed his role from the passive or the aggressive to the passive scout, and Heist
Heist also
attributed
asked
the
Twick if he wants
downturn
to
in their
join.
form at the end of the season to that. But now he's happy with Rake. He was, whenever I talked to him at last, he
This
was
is why-
100% on the roster, but is Rake a weak Lincoln's team?
This is why I
Fire
don't believe
those
this whole like Nadir was just in for a season and he knew he had to perform bullshit. Because if you actually go like, do you remember a couple of seasons ago where Heist was in the AC position in ETF2L and he tried to get Twig banned because he fucking destroyed them on Sniper on the Turbine match of Crackland against TLR? Right, that guy then goes to Twig and asks him if he wants to join on Scout this season because they want to kick Rake. Like, don't give me that. Don't be that don't be that kind of a snake. Like, at least be straightforward and tell people how it is, but don't be like that backwards. Like, from always coming from the back, basically. If you get my point. I don't like that, and it's just wrong because that is happening, and the locks are all out there, and people don't make up locks like this, and it's just dumb. So I don't know. The scouts are playing good together. Rake and Carla, the aggressive scouts are playing good together, as far as I'm concerned. And for me, they're now they're not a weak link.
I think Rake could go either way. Like he's never been. I think TLR now will be the best team he's ever been in by quite some margin, unless I'm forgetting some Finnish team or something like that. And like I don't know, he seems like a player that if you give him a chance in that kind of team, he will adapt and become very good, or he will crumble and be forgotten basically. And I think this is a season for him where he kind of decides that for himself, which one he's going to be. Like he could stick out as like the weak link, but I think he has what it takes if he puts in the effort. But it's just a matter of like, will he or won't he?
Let me bring Dikker in here a second. Merlin, he's practically Russian. Is he your idol? Is he the medic you want to be, Dikker?
Yeah, I watched his POV when I was in season 10 maybe, and learned from him more.
Yeah, like I watched your frag movie. I know it's incredibly long, but yeah, I'm a medic. I love that shit. And there's a lot of jukes in there, a lot of six surfs. Reminded me a bit of Merlin. Would you like to aspire to be him?
Yeah, I was. But, you know, after Merlin I just meet Whiteglow and we became friends. And
Who's better?
Whiteglow!
Obviously.
Whiteglow,
Come on.
obviously.
Wow, bromance. Right. Just real quick then, like we've talked about the last resort, but nobody really mentioned Kallio. Like, any thoughts on him? Is he just a cog in the machine, or is he a standout player?
I think he's a Rake for me. Like I've never been.
He can go either way.
Yeah, like I've never been sold on him, but like I think he maybe could do it.
He's less hit and miss, more consistent than Rake.
I think
Like-
he's smarter than people give him credit for. Like, I guess you don't really see it a lot. Like, he's quite a smart player if he doesn't hit like the big, massive shots.
It helps him because, you know, if you underrate him in game, then
Who?
you won't
Whiteglow?
expect what's coming.
Kallio.
Oh, sorry.
Wow.
I remember one time a couple of seasons ago when there was a Frick movie contest and I could see his triple A on Spire 20 times in a row.
And then
That's
the
how I know
by.
Callo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Callo is calling a lot, right? Like,
Yeah.
as well. I've been, like, when I watched these VODs lately, he was calling a lot more than I expected.
And he sounds shitloads like Kyler, so I get really confused.
Yes!
I think, wow, Kyler's
I
calling
thought they're the
loads.
same.
Kyler's
Yeah,
changed
exactly.
so much, and then
Yes,
it's Cal
and
the
it's-
whole time.
Exactly.
Guys.
It's not Callo.
We've got some news hot off the presses. Two pieces of news actually about two different teams. I think we'll jump to Team Deserto first. If you had time to read the article, they were like really up in the air. They'd lost 3 players, lost Poop Show to AO, Furbo retired, and Bull joined Evocate. Hildreth had been trying to play Medic to see what that felt like. Shifty had come back from the bench to play Soldier, but that didn't work out. Apparently he was like a bitch to play with.
Germans.
I can confirm
right
that.
now, on the TF2 News bot, we got a little bit of a roster update. It's Kratos and Razor's Edge joining. I can't say for sure if Kratos is going to play demo
Kratos will be
or
demo,
medic.
Hildreth will
I've
be
seen him
medic.
play medic as well.
We played
We
this
played
team
them
tonight. Hildreth
Okay.
was on medic with Kratos demo, and they are like bottom prem fodder as far as I'm concerned.
Are they
At
confirmed?
least from what I
Hijack
saw
rule.
tonight. Well, if they get past the hijack rule, they're like
Okay.
they're the standout weak team in prem for me at the moment. But they're
Which
their
shouldn't
first night
happen,
together, so
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like I talked length to Hildreth, and he just seemed pretty flaky about the whole thing. Like he really loves Highlander. His team are playing really well at the minute, and that's his passion. But like he didn't seem motivated for sixes. But he just feels like, reading between the lines, that he has some sort of obligation because this is a team they built like in March 2012, and they've been going together. And it's just him and Sheepy left. But I think he
Well,
felt if he left, the team would die.
But what's the point of like keeping it going? It's just like a zombie
Yeah, no,
now.
that's what I
It's
told
like,
him. I told him.
it's like a
Tell him.
shell of what it was, and it's gonna like besmirch the reputation, whatever reputation he created in the first place. It's gonna just rape it basically, because I don't think they're up to it at all.
Give me the German insight then, Ips. You got 2 German players there, Kratos and Razor's Edge. What's your analysis?
Oh, no, I'm not going to comment on that because
Nice guy.
The
Ips.
atmosphere,
Doesn't want to
the-
offend anyone.
they know what I think about them. Like, as soon as they add to pick up 2, I strongly consider to delete myself. So, I don't know. They're brothers. Maybe that will make them better together.
They're playing from the
brothers?
same room.
They're playing from the
Oh,
same
really?
room.
Yeah.
Which is, that's their thing. It's not important.
Why
but
are we
maybe
so
that will
surprised
make-
by this?
It makes
know
them. It makes them. Maybe it makes them improve together. For now, I think if they get into Premiership, it would say a lot about the current state of Premiership. And that's all I want to say about that.
Quickly, just to say, actually, I just remember they had Quick murking tonight, which probably wasn't the best night for me to judge them. So, I guess I'll partially retract my statement that I said before. Because when you're trialing 2 people and you have a merc on top of that, it's bound to be a shitfest.
I think
But they
every
went to
Prem...
Axe Shifty as well. Like, who...
Fucking hell.
That's what the...
How many
Well,
times?
Hildreth-
How many times have they axed Shifty now? It's
Hildreth
like the
told
4th time.
me that... sorry, Hildreth, just to drop you in it like this, but he said that from the sort of mood of the team before they played tonight, he reckoned that if they did continue, it would be without Shifty. So if Quick was playing, maybe he's like trialing for them as well. I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't think Quick is, because Quick added me on Steam the other day and asked me if we needed a soldier. And asked not the sort of thing you do if you have a trial lined up. Really, message
Well,
another
maybe it's
team
all
who have
short term.
soldiers. I don't know.
When I scheduled with them, they described Quick as a merc. Well, no, actually,
Yeah.
they described this hit and when I asked their roster, he said blah 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 and a Roma. So I think they just grabbed Quick last minute.
As a merc, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I
anyway.
think I don't know. He would fit that team. I didn't think he was too underperforming tonight, but the rest, especially like these 2 Germans, I don't feel are ready for it at the moment. Considering
Right, so
that in the recruitment post, looking for Premiership, they've won when their last seasons were in Division 2 and it was mediocre. It's a bit weird to see.
They're the next Vladi and Nuck though.
imagine this then. So forget about the time constraints, schedule, whatever. If you were trying to select the best teams to be in the Premier Division, do they deserve their spot that they have there?
No, not even vaguely. I don't
Do they
think
deserve
anyway.
a shot at the playoffs?
I think if you
Well, I
check
think-
logs, every like Prem team and Prem aspiring team has been beating them like clearly on a consistent basis. So that says enough.
Like
Can we give it-
how many players did they actually change?
Can you give me a quick rundown on the
There's-
roster?
There's no absolute rule on the hijack rules, but they changed
Please.
3 players.
Yeah.
Please.
If Shifty's
Well,
not in, then
they
they
lost
change
3
3
players,
players.
but he was already on the roster. It wasn't like me, and he played a few games last season. So technically, they've only changed 2 players, but he might go as well.
Can you
So it
read
could
them
be
out?
3.
The lineup,
Yeah,
please.
Hildreth on Medic, Kratos on Demo now. Zub is Pocket, Shifty, Roam, Sheepy on Scout, and Razor's Edge.
Zoop is such a diamond in the dirt in his teams. I
Yeah.
don't know, man. That is
Yeah.
so dumb.
Underrated.
Like,
Zoop deserves better.
yeah, Zoop is always very, very strong when we play against him. Even if the teams that we play them with that I play with are better than his team, he always feels like just really consistent and really strong. So it's weird
Yeah.
to still see him like in these teams in this kind of project. Maybe he doesn't want to like really commit to a full team in the end.
He's
Does he
not
not
even
play in the
trying.
same? Does he not play in the same Highlander team as Hildreth?
Yeah, he does. I think they're pretty
Yeah.
tight. Like they've always been in the same team together as long as I've paid attention to these players. He's loyal, I guess, which is nice.
All right,
Yeah.
let's take a brief interlude here from the team rundown. A couple of things I want to mention. Shameless plug for whitelist.tf. You can get the provisional unlocks list there if you want to try it out, guys. Also, I've got Reservoir Dog here asking me to remind everyone that this is on you, Kaidus, as well, that we're looking for new people to join Pickup 2, start of the new season. If you want to play with the best in Europe on a semi-regular basis, respond to that forum thread on ETF2L, I guess.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about it, Jason?
Like I made it pretty clear in the post that I did. Only contact me if you've played a season of Div 2 or if you won promotion to Div 2. Like I don't care if your team's going Div 2 next season. Doesn't matter. Like I need something concrete. Even if you make it into Div 2, like according to like the provisional fixtures, if you didn't do something to earn it, I don't want to hear from you. Otherwise, message me. I'll invite you.
Okay, and just a little segue then from that mention of whitelists. I'll read out the unlocks here. I'm sure you guys know it, right? They've added the Loose Cannon, the Force of Nature, the Buff Banner, the Conjurer, the Diamondback, and the Widowmaker this season. Any thoughts on those unlocks?
Loose Cannon's pretty cool. The rest just seem like they were drawn out of a hat.
Buff Banner and Conch, man, you know, they've got uses, maybe very situational. But
I can give you some weird insight. Something I really disagreed with the decision of the unlocks. Like, you know, they added the two banners, yeah? The Conch, it is, if I pronounce that right.
Conch
and the Buff Banner. And they didn't add it. They didn't add the third, the
Battalion's backup, because it would counter. Like, this was a quote that got quoted to me from my leak, my information source number one, out of the admin IC when the unlocks were discussed, that it would straight up counter the Buff Banner, and I thought that this is a brilliant thing. Like, if items counter each other, you know, and people are able to equip certain items that each one would counter each other, that would be actually an upgrade and to our variety of our games. So I was really very, very, very like stunned when I heard this argument of not letting it in because of that. Like, to me, it came really weird. I love the banners. I'm super shit at finding a good timing when to use them now. Like, I just use them whenever I feel like. But I wish there would be the third one, just for the sake of, like, having something to counter the other thing, you know? I don't know. Rock, paper, scissors mechanic is overrated. The whole good thing about TF2 is that there's no rock, paper, scissors mechanic. Like, anything can beat anything. Because, you know, well, this discussion has been had a long time, mainly including arcs, but like having items to counter each other is stupid because you can't really act on it once the enemy has the item. Like, what, are you gonna go back to resub and change your item to counter their item?
Or you just change it every mid or something. It just becomes a guessing game rather than
And also, most of the items, I guess the banners are okay, because you can see the backpack, but a lot of these items with weird attributes, you can hardly see that the enemy's wearing them before they use it, and then it's a guessing game completely.
It's just going to be a bit dumb, like, you're going to be holding last, and then suddenly there's going to be glowing men with horns running in. Or like...
I love it.
Or like,
I love it.
You're going to you'll see a soldier suicide, like, and you'll think, okay, he's coming back with some stupid weapon, and then like the push takes 2 minutes longer than it needed to take, and then they'll come in with stupid flashes and horns.
We just have to, like, I mean, I would have been in the same boat as Skeej. All this stuff about, you know, not even having the information to know they're running the buff banner or whatever. Now, I think there's going to be a lot of signs you can read. Like, if there is a soldier that's just randomly spamming rockets at you to try and build up his damage, you can maybe read that. Like, it's just another thing we have to take into account.
Fired.
But like, some of the unlocks are weird to me. Like the Diamondback is an unlock that works whenever you sap a building.
Get it.
It gives you a crit shot. But like, when is there ever any buildings in sixes? Like,
that's what I mean. It just seems like they took it out of a hat. Like, there's no reason why that should be in over like the other 100 ones that aren't in.
It's like the Widowmaker as well.
Like, is
Widowmaker's sick, man.
Razorback
The
allowed?
Widowmaker is like beast.
Is Razorback allowed? Like
no, it's
like,
not at it yet.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just so pointless, all these items. Why have that one over that one? I don't get
Kaidus, do you remember that time on Pirate Radio where I literally drew unlocked from a hat?
Classic episode.
I sort of like the admin decision. You know, they're maintaining their policy of adding a few things every season. Like, there's nothing here that's going to break the game. It's made it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, but why would you add things just for the sake of adding things?
Yeah, and the conversation about them
we're
just
trying to move
happens too
towards
late.
the singularity wherever Highlander and Sixes are running off the same whitelist, and you have to play against Wrangled Sentries and Grew Heavies.
And we'll play Badwater.
Yeah.
Let's just throw the short circuit into the game right now and get it over with.
Is that more like Sapsuba?
No, it's the one that destroys projectiles, but like its fire rate is like a flamethrower. So basically just a wall of projectiles.
sorry.
And it
Destroys them off,
damages, and it outputs damage as well.
I need to be corrected there, guys. I've been totally wrong. I think, did they change that, Reid? It used to be that the Diamondback was for building stat, but now it's for backstab, so that makes it actually
It's a bit more relevant.
pretty relevant.
Backstab a pocket.
I take it back. Sorry.
Whoa.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
A lot of people will be going for off-class of the season next awards.
They have to
Big spy
I don't know.
plays.
Still have to be good and get behind enemy lines to do that.
Alright, let's not turn this into an unlock debate. Metalworks is out, and Coal Plant is in. How does that make you feel, guys?
It's a piece of shit for a piece of turd, to be honest.
Is
One-
Coal Plant the Koth one? Is it
Yeah.
Koth?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
5 CP always trumps COG.
Like, they're both bad, to be honest. I mean, I guess Variety is cool. Metalworks was like, let's be honest, it was never going anywhere. The concept was just boring. It was never going to be like the next Badlands.
Are you
so
that guy that gave the feedback to Firmzilla?
This
No,
is
I
really
gave
weird.
it to Sunny Black.
Why
It's
don't
really
you like
weird.
Metalworks?
It's okay. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a bad map, but I think there is nothing about it that can be like developed and make it into a fun map. Like, it doesn't have some fundamental problem. Like the spawn
Yeah.
waves are wrong. Like the map is just the wrong shape. It's too long.
It's just
And
almost
some-
bland.
Some people on the forums were saying that we should watch the IT versus mix-up games of their cup that they were playing on Metalworks, because they apparently play such a more like speedier way of playing this map. It's not true. All I saw on the VODs is someone hiding on last with his whole team behind a sentry and a heavy gun until someone fails a push and then a repush comes in. Like, the stalemates on the map are so huge, it's just not really cool to play it.
Yeah, like it's not that bad, but it's no better than anything else, and it never will be. Like, there's nothing about it that can be turned into like a good map.
I don't know,
So-
it's not a bad change, it's just a change.
Yeah, I mean, I think Coal Plant is bad as well, to be honest. I don't like the concept, but it's at least new, and teams will have to figure out
What is
learn
it you
what to
don't
do.
like?
What about Coal Plant?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I just have a bad impression of it. Like, I've only played Coal Plant a couple times, but I just remember playing Asheville, like way back in the day. And I don't know. I guess I haven't played it that much, but just not overly impressed with what I see, I guess. And I don't really like either the fact that means that 4 out of 7 weeks of ETF2L now have a cough map. Like,
Yeah, I
it
agree.
seems
Do you
a
think
bit
you're
weird.
being quick to judge, or have you
Maybe
played Asheville a lot in America? Like,
I used to play like a lot of American TF2, and I played Asheville quite a lot. And I don't know, I just remember getting a really like bad impression of it. And I don't know, it just strikes me as one of these maps. Like, it's gonna be okay. It will be like, I'm not gonna want to kill myself every time I play it, like Granary or something like that. But it's just gonna be like another of these maps that you play for a season, you figure it out, and you say this is pretty dull, and then we'll get the next one in next season and do the same thing. I don't think it's here to stay. But it's good to have variety, so I guess I'm happy with the decision to bring it in over Metalworks.
Coal Plant is very passive map, like Metalworks maybe, especially in NA.
you like it?
No,
Oppressive.
you need so much spam from soldiers on that those small roofs, so too passive. We are Russians, we need aggressive map.
You can play Metalworks quite aggressively.
I guess. Metalworks.
Yeah, Metalworks was good,
Yeah?
but boring. It's too
I
dark.
think he was talking about. I think he was just talking about Coal Plant. Were
yeah,
you?
I was
Okay.
talking about Coal Plant.
Yeah, but I thought you said Metalworks is passive too.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
No, it's too dark, too depressed.
Yeah, I agree. I don't
Yeah,
like
there is
the
some
colour scheme as
psychology
well.
there.
At least it's in another map with an
CPU orange.
open choke between
CP
mid and
orange.
second.
I just don't like these wide, huge last points like on Granary or Snakewater, where you can
Processed.
hide on the other side. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the
too
last
it's
is
too
bad.
it's too huge. I wanted like on Gully Wash, where if you turtle up, if you have a heavy and a sentry gun, all it needs for my team to do is like have coordinated spam to actually get something down. that you can't really do that on Metalworks. If you open a door, there's going to be sticky trap, and someone's going to be close to your sniper and stuff like that.
It's a lot like Obscure Last.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see it played another season. I mean, like, if you want to think about your TF2 history, Gollywash was hated originally. Now it's like part of the furniture around here. But
when they changed the drop-down section, it became...
I honestly don't care because I'm not playing. That's why I say add all the unlocks, bring in all the maps. Fuck everybody. Let's keep it moving then.
I have a
this
question
this
for
other
you,
piece of news. Oh, yeah, shoot.
James. Why did you lose your ambassador of premiership status?
Oh, well. I'm not sure if I'd officially have. I mean, I got fired by Sonny Black, and apparently he's not even an ETF2L admin. Maybe it was just a big joke.
So you're
Sonny
still
Black's
a thing
always
there?
in charge.
Nah, it was just after the season, you know, I'd made a few comments. It didn't seem to go down well, and I wasn't doing anything, which I think is
So it's like the Nazi
the most
admins not allowing
justifiable.
you to be against their decision making.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get up with my soapbox here. I mean, I can
Wow.
still influence decisions
Exactly.
here. Look, here I am. Talking about matters, whether or not the admins choose to listen is another thing, but I might have taken a different tact if I was discussing these unlocks and maps this season. Wouldn't have changed much, but I might have offered some insight. I don't have that luxury anymore. I have to just post on the forums or like all you other scrubs now. It was just like a direct line to the admins. That's why I liked about it, just being involved in the decision making. But no longer. I clearly pissed some people off, and well, sorry guys. But do you want to let's talk real quick about a few of these unknown teams just to see if anybody has heard of them. We've got a team here called the Superstars Only. Some guy, CommanderX on Medic. Just, you did mention War as your demo man trial. How's that going? Or how likely do you think you're going to secure him?
It's actually going surprisingly well. I think maybe more by default than our overwhelming skill, because his only other option was Hildrift's team, and apparently we're slightly more fun than them, and no one else seems to want War.
Best compliment ever, slightly more fun than Hildrift.
We're more like, he murked for us a bunch of times last season when Kuna was whatever, had to go to bed because he's 14 or some shit. And he had a nice time, and we've had a nice time. We've only played like 2 games, 3 nights or something. He's had a nice time. So maybe we're basically his best option by default.
Is he
I'm
actually
happy with
gonna?
that.
Is he actually gonna play for you if you're gonna get promoted into Division 1? Because I heard that he's really just looking for a Div 2 team on the stream, like he was saying that a couple of
Was he?
times. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe
Why
he
would
was
you
just
look
fooling around.
for a Div 2 team?
Because he wants to
specifically?
care less and
But
be the best demo more.
But he is very good. Like, he can not care in Div 1 as easily as he can not care in Div 2.
20
I don't know.
damage.
Maybe-
We've already talked about it.
He
but-
has to find a medic that constantly heals him. So I don't know. Maybe it's CX's fault.
People bashed on him a lot, you know, like people really drove home that thing about him padding his damage stats this season, and I guess I didn't really watch much of DCM stream, but you know, he was streaming a lot and people saw the dynamic, and at the start of this season he didn't have any offers. Like, I spoke to him about what happened in TCM and he was like, well, there are no Prem teams and there wasn't that many teams that he could have tried out for. And do you think he's going to join you, CommanderX?
I know.
Because he wants to, or because he has no other options?
I know. Well, like, he has a good time. Like, we're fun to play with, I guess. I like to think. But like, I know he seems to have a nice time, so I don't see why he wouldn't. Maybe partly because he doesn't have many other options, but partly because at least he enjoys it.
But what's your mentality for the season? Like, your sort of ambition? You guys want to go keen?
We want to do win. Like, we played last season and we had like a bunch of roster problems, and we just like finished like 4th or 3rd or something in Div 2, and we all felt like that wasn't what we deserved for how we were playing. Like, when we played towards the end of the season, we played much better, so I think we want to continue that. Like, all our PCWs are Div 1 or low Prem, or like TLR and stuff like that. Like, we're ambitious. And
What's the
maybe
deal with Kuna and Crouton? Where have they gone?
Kuna's want to play with his French team, go like with his French friends. I think they're like in a Div 2/low Div 1 team. Crouton, basically, he's got his uni schedule's changed coming into the new year, So basically, if he played with us, every night he would have to play, he has to get up at like 7 or 8 a.m. And he's just not up for gaming late, then waking up early. So we're looking for scouts as well. And at the moment, it looks like it's going to be Denier from Saints, if people remember him, know who he is.
Yeah, he's a sick sniper too, on occasion. One player in your roster that I have played a lot with is Towson. Like, he's in my Highlander team, played with him in sixes as well and pickups, etc. I think he's a smart guy, thinks a lot about the game, he's a genuine talent. How have you found playing with him?
Yeah, he's really keen, he's really good. We've recently swapped him and Sonny Black around, so Torson's now on Pocket, Sonny Black's on Roma, because Sonny Black's a lot more comfortable there, and he's playing much better now he's in Roma, whereas Torson's still kind of trying to find his feet on Pocket, because obviously he's playing with War, he maybe plays a little bit more passive than other demo men, so Torson's trying to find the right balance of when to be aggressive and being in, and he's still a little bit hesitant, but you know, like, he's keen to improve, he wants to play, he wants feedback, he wants information. Like, he always, like, picks up if he thinks he's done something wrong or not done something well enough. He'll, like, apologise and say, what should I do next time? Like, there's a good kind of healthy atmosphere of, I guess,
People
keenness.
want to improve.
Yeah, people want to do better, want to play better as a team.
That's
Which is, I guess, that's what you want.
Totally unbiased opinion of Sonny Black. You know, he's like your homeboy. Play Daisy with him day in, day out.
My longest project finally blooming.
What does this season hold for Sonny Black? Tell me.
I don't know. Great things ahead. Division 1, all his dreams come true.
This is your
Division
chance to reach out on them to him live on air. Is there something about his game that he needs to improve? There's something
He should
that
stop.
you can
Like, the
tell him
one
now.
thing we started to play TF2 together like 2.5 years ago. One thing he never stopped doing is that he walks backwards when he reloads rockets, and therefore he gives the enemy that sees him reloading the impression that he's weak and he has to fall out. So he just gets fucking raped every time he's in reloading patterns, and that's dumb. And he's still doing it. Sorry,
There you go.
Sonny. Act strong, exactly. You know what
Yeah.
Red Shock taught us, James? Act
Yeah,
strong. They don't know
act
you're
strong.
10 HP. They don't know you have 1 rocket left.
I'm teaching it to my guys now.
I'm talking
Let me
it.
confirm as well, CX. Whenever I chatted to you, you mentioned Connor and Exar. Are they going to be backing up on your team, or?
I don't know. Like, I've not talked to XR yet, but it would just be nice because, like, Leon's
Oh
doing.
wow! I just put that out in the article. Sorry, man. Still your thunder.
Yeah, but I don't know. It'd be nice, just, you know, like, Days War's not available. Like, Leon's quite often available because, you know, he gets like a, you know, big essay he needs a night off. So that would be the idea of Connor. But we did play one night with Connor, and everyone had a really awful time. So maybe we're going to explore different avenues. Maybe we're going to see
What is that, like
Crouton
a
wants to
personality
play.
thing, you mean? Or just total different mindset, or what?
I don't know. Just, I don't know.
Bad night.
He wasn't, yeah, like, obviously he's rusty, so his aim wasn't there. And also, just no one enjoyed playing with him. I think Efug trialed first that one night, and then after that night he was like, I'm not interested. So,
What about Dr. Leon able to play demo? Is that something that you
I mean, maybe
give
that's
a
our
shot?
fallback. Like, he's not actually awful at demo, but right now he's awful at everything because he's not played TF2. Like, as soon as our season finished, he didn't play for like a month. So right now he's played 2 nights and that's it. So he sucks at scout right now. He sucks at demo, but he'll get better. Like, last season he was our carry, so he'll get back to that standard. And if War isn't interested, that's probably our best option now on demo.
Okay, I'm going to jump to another team. I still have this piece of interesting news. I'm going to hold that off a little bit. But there's another team. I don't know much about these guys at all. Hard Gaming, Italian team. All Italian speakers. They've come up second place in Division 2A, I think, after We Don't Care. I play Highlander with one of them. Sorex, he's pretty good scout. But has anybody played against Hard Gaming? What can you tell me about them? Silence. CommanderX, have you never played against these guys?
Who?
Dikker?
No.
No, we don't play with.
No, I've never played against them. I've
Nope.
seen Sorex in like lobbies and pickups or whatever, but literally, I'm looking at your article right now, and the only other
Total unknown.
name that rings a bell is that Giuseppino, Seppino, whatever.
Who?
He's a
not on the
soldier
roster.
and
Giuseppino.
Romanian.
Oh,
Recipio.
Yeah, Recipe, and that's it.
Jesse
Thank you.
Pino.
Yeah, I've seen him before, and I wasn't impressed, but who knows?
He's not even Italian. He's a fake.
It's Romanian.
He's Romanian, yeah.
Yeah, well, outcast.
It's almost the same.
I don't know, there always seems to be this Italian team around that kind of Div 2, Div 3 mark, but I've never played against them. I have no experience of them.
I'm really glad
So,
we're
like-
talking about this team rather than Broder or.
I just want to run through them all, man. You know, that's it.
Everyone's
I'm
equal in
probably
TF2, Cadus.
I'm
No.
hungry.
Our Italian viewers are shooting through the roof right now. They're so excited.
There's been like, has there ever been like a Prem
Berlusconi
Italian player?
improves, man. Nah, I don't think so.
No.
Right. Anyway,
Let's move
kick
over
it-
to
let's
Dotter.
Let's kick this up a gear. Let's go straight to Mela Mool, the Nox team,
Oh.
Nox and Captain Hacks, the new French team. In the article, you know, or originally, Nox wanted to play Demo Man. He wanted to try his hand at it, and let me tell you the roster first. Medic was unknown, but maybe Onkaya was the guy they were trialing at the time. They had Nox and Demo, Captain Hacks on Pocket, Nadir on Roamer, Flip and Droso in from TCM on Scout. But they had to confirm a Medic. And a lot of people said when they heard this roster, you know, Nox on Demo, that's questionable. He might be a smart guy, but if he's not fast enough and not putting out enough damage, it's a losing battle. And the fact they had Nadir there, who used to play Demo in Div 2 before this season when he jumped up to play Roamer and Prem, there was a bit of potential for a switch. There was also talk of another French medic, Zeus, who plays like Div 2, I think. But then, just tonight, after the article's gone out, Droso messages me and says they're going to bring in Mitzi on medic, who's living in Canada, but he's going to play with the 100 ping, whatever. Nadir to Demo, Nox to Pocket, and Captain Hacks to Roamer. What are your thoughts on that?
I swear Captain Hacks can't roam for shit. I swear he just doesn't understand jumping.
Is he
I'd
gonna
like
roam?
It's weird because when he
Every
plays
ti-
Pocket, that's all he does.
Yeah, but every time I see him on roam, like every time I've seen him roam, instead of being like a roam will jump in from an angle, he'll just walk in from the flank. Like just a casual walk in, try
Is he going to play
six
Roamer for the
man them.
team? Is that what he
Yeah,
said?
that's what the thing
Just
on
saving
Knocks on
his-
Pocket.
I think the Nox and Mitzi thing is good because they basically are a love couple in TF2 for a while now. Like they've been.
They date back to natural selection, though, right? Like season
Yeah, they
before
go-
TF2.
Yeah, exactly. They go back to other teams when they got
Hacking
banned on
bastards.
public servers. So yeah, I think that's good. I would agree in the Captain Heck thing. We will see how that turns out. Have
Are
we
they
played them
applying for
yet?
Prem?
Probably.
Are they?
Why
Yeah,
wouldn't they?
yeah.
They're going
Absolutely.
to Prem.
They should apply for Prem because I think if it works out, if they get it going, then it's going to be good. Because obviously, are they all French? Yeah, Rosa understands French.
Oh yeah, they're all
They all
French
speak
speakers.
French, yeah.
They have a Swiss
Yeah,
and
so
two
that's good.
Belgians, but
I
they're all
mean,
French speakers.
I think one of the things, the only real downgrade for Nox, if there ever it really was one, was the calls a bit, like the understanding of English and the communication in English. So if that all falls away, then it can be sick if they all follow through. What's Nox playing? Sorry, he's playing demo.
Pocket.
Still.
Pocket.
Pocket.
Oh,
now.
Pocket.
Nadir
Okay,
on
okay.
Demo.
Oh yeah,
But I-
Nadir demo. That's maybe a weak point. I don't know.
I don't know. Nadir's really good at demo. He just doesn't. He's not the smartest when he plays demo. But
Yeah,
if
but where
Nox is
was
his
he?
pocket,
Where was he good on demo last time? Was he good in Division 2 on demo?
he
when-
played at LAN. He played at LAN, man. I-40 was it I-46, I-49?
Oh yeah. I don't know. That LAN never happened for me, so don't bring it up, please.
I honestly think Nox would have done fine on demo.
Yeah,
Like,
I think so.
at least playing with him, like he'll play demo like he plays Pocket Soldier. He'll stay with the med and be really passive and have 0 deaths a game. But like I think you get more out of Nadir than you do a roaming soldier. Like he's not there yet, Nadir, but I think give him, if this team works, like and give him a season with Nox like yelling at him in French, I think it'll be pretty good.
Yeah, man, he's got the raw talent. Like I remember a couple of seasons ago, this guy started popping up in Pickup 2 in various places, and I died to everybody, sure, but those deaths to the deer stuck out to me. Like he has some talent. I hope he can be molded here.
He's quite young as well, right? Like
Yeah,
CX.
Like, no, 17, 18,
Yeah,
something like that, yeah.
Like everyone plays like that when they're like that age. They just go in like Vic, basically. But then as they get older, they play a bit more responsibly, I guess. Don't mess around with drugs and alcohol anymore.
what I want to
I
know
completely
then,
concur.
like talking to, like I said, I was talking to Permzilla. Oh, sorry, go.
Did we discuss Lego? No?
Not yet, not yet.
Okay, okay.
Save your love for
Settle down,
F2.
settle down.
Calm down, Dikker.
I was gonna say that in my chat with Permzilla, when I was trying to get into his mind and hash out who the admins thought should be in the divisions, he said that Mela Mul, or I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but anyway, that they had like a potentially very good roster, which I think is the one they've ended up with, or a potentially bad one. So there is a chance now that they're just going to get a direct spot into Prem. Do you think that is justified, or should we wait to see them play first?
I think it's completely unjustified. Whoever
Unjustified.
gets a spot in Prem. I don't know why they don't do playoffs. It doesn't make any
There's time
sense.
for playoffs. There's like the coming week, isn't there?
Yeah.
Can't they throw
They've
something
had
together?
fucking months, man. Like they
And
know when
Marvel-
the
Would you
season
play
started.
off? Would
months
you
ago.
play
Marvel
off if you
warned
had
them
to?
in advance.
Of course.
I would have
Why
no
wouldn't we
complaints if we had to
Yeah.
play a playoff. I'd have no complaints. I'd be confident we'd win it. So like, or at
It's a
least
new
qualify.
team. Yeah, we're a new team. We are not guaranteed anything. Like, we haven't proven everything in earlier seasons, so why would we not play playoffs?
It's
I sort of
ridiculous. 'Cause, I mean,
miss,
just a slight example. Like you look at the Swedes game today, they got bashed, like absolutely banged by the UK team. But Broda, like it's basically Broda with a couple of different players. Broda were notoriously awful compared to how they played in matches. And based on
Especially in the
like,
start of the season, sorry.
yeah, I was going to say, based on what I've seen, there is none of Broda's results or Dota's results suggest they're any better than some of the teams that probably won't make Prem. But if you put them in playoffs, like they're probably going to get in based on reputation, but their PCW performances, their screenshots are not good. But you put them in a playoff scenario where it's a match, and players like Walters, like they'll come alive. Like they're notoriously awful in PCWs, and then they come alive like in an actual match scenario. And the same can be said like with a lot of players, and you don't see that until you put them in a match. So like you're just judging these teams off of like false information basically, unless you have playoffs.
let's make the jump to Daughter then, and really drill down into this roster. Like, it is this sort of Team Sweden thing going on here, yeah, except for Knutsen, Knutsen, whatever the fuck.
Knutsen.
Knutsen.
How has he been?
All the Swedes say Knutsen, man.
Let's jump in there. How has he been
All the
performing?
Swedes have
Anyone
Down
seen him play? Anyone seen this kid play since he returned after 4 seasons away?
Yeah, it was pretty meh. Like he's no
Yeah.
jukebox.
Was surprised that Twig didn't show up in the end and last moment and played Romer. Yeah,
He would have liked
that's
that
what I
freedom, I
expected.
reckon.
Yeah, and he was like, he always backed to play Soldier, just making jokes when we played in Fused and whatever, because he really loved loads and stuff. So I was surprised that he didn't step forward for that spot.
I mean, like, in my research, I've been seeing screenshots from various people, like you say, where the Daughter have played bad, and yeah, at the same time, I can, if I'm going to put me in Germany into the Premiership automatically, I can almost justify putting in Daughter. But then, if people are coming up with screenshots where they've like beat them 5-0 or whatever, like how do you balance that out? It's like competition is the only fair way to do it.
That's why
It's
you
just-
need playoffs.
It's retarded. Like if you look at seasons gone by, like Broda as an example, like 2 weeks, say like it's playoffs, it's Crackclan versus Broda. 2 weeks before the playoff game happened, you'd see Crackclan like roll them for 2 weeks basically,
Yeah.
or at least beat them for 2 weeks. You like if you based the playoffs on screenshots of those BCWs, like Infused would have been, well, Crackclan would have been in the final, but it came to the match when Broda won every time. So it pretty much sums it up for me.
True. Another player I picked on, bullied, my boy Walters. He's going under the alias Cockot these days, but like last season, I didn't see a lot of Cosmican games, but it seemed like he just had plus forward in his scout config. He was running in and dying, trying to emulate the old Walters where he might go in and make some big plays, but our team's just too well drilled these days to fall for that, or has Walters sort of fallen from grace? Can he regain his glory days of Epsilon, whatever?
Did he do that in officials as well? I didn't really see much Prem games from last season, but it seems that's what he's doing with Daughter now as well.
Is he past his best? Is he like a weak link in this team? If you're playing against him, you're just like, yeah, let's
Maybe.
hold and kill Walters, then push.
I think he knows better. I think it's probably what you're saying, like he will start trying when stuff matters.
And the end of Cosmic Kenny was just not a team player anymore. Like, having talked to Brigo a lot, especially after the Nations Cup incident there, he just zoned out completely and would like take his headset off while they were scrimming and just do his own thing. And that's a bit weak shit, to be honest. So maybe in this all Swedish lineup, his spirit is enlightened again, and he actually cares.
I think he's been looking for a team that he enjoys, because it's like every season me and Mullers have the same conversation where we think about playing together or whatever, but I just haven't had the desire anymore. But I think he really yearns for a fun team or a team that he enjoys, and this could be what he needs to get back into it. But another thing then, sidestep with that one, Zebo's back on Pocket. Do you want to offer me any analysis of his season on Scout? Is this his calling? Is he a soldier?
Of course,
or is he a scout? He hates it though.
He has to call to get the best out of Zeb. He has to be calling, because he plays better that way. But he also just kind of like he just listens to music. Basically, he always listens to music when he plays. And if he's not calling, it's like he's barely there half the time. He's just listening to his music, running around shooting people.
It was his little TF2. It was his little TF2 rehab thing. Like, just zone out for a season. Have the freedom of being the aggressive scout, not having to deal with like being the pockets. You can pull off random plays. Everyone knows you're going to be stupidly aggressive, and you're going to die a lot, but also clutch a lot. So it was a good season for him, like in terms of what he wanted the season to be. And now he's just back on scout on Soli, which for me is the perfect thing to do, because I don't like he's a really good soldier, better than on scout, I think.
I remember like last season, before we got knocks, while Ips was away and we kind of fiddled around here and there, drama happened, etc. But like for 1 or 2 days we played with Zeba on Pocket, and it just illustrated to me like there's two completely different versions of Zebasai. And like from one day him on Scout, just messing around, running in, 30 deaths, doing whatever, to the next day, calling absolutely everything for absolutely everyone, like all the time, completely focused. Like it's black and white basically.
I don't know about you guys, but like I would find that very annoying to play with if you were like giving up 2 hours a night, 4 times a week, 3 times a week.
But you know what the problem is that the player pool is again then too small. Like, you have to play with that sort of players in the end if you actually want to compete. Yeah, I
want to know, like, what's the? I'm gonna dredge up, the old you getting kicked out of the team, the mutiny. How do you feel about all these players now? Then there was the Nations Cup that was all involved.
About
How are
these
you in
players.
Zebo now? Are you still? Oh yeah, we'll start with Zebo.
I don't know.
Is he still your nemesis?
It never like. Of course, at that time when the things happened, it was all still heated up. But now I don't know. It's all relaxed. I think it was all a bit handled a bit weird, and a bit behind people's back instead of straight up talking. Like, I'm up for straight talk. If you tell me you can't play with me, then I will respect that, and we will have to find a way. But making these sort of decisions when someone is away on vacation and really just using that time to make that decision is weird, and that's what I can hold against him. The way he plays scout, like, I'm not a scout, I can't judge that, and it seemed to work in some occasions. So it's partly in Europe like this, so can't judge the scout plays. And on soldier, I don't know, he's really, really good on soldier. I think he always was the baddest soldier. So we will see this season how it is after he has been away for so long. Relatively
showing some respect.
Well,
let me then I did say players, of course. If you read the Made in Germany comment, I mentioned as well, that wasn't just Zebasai's decision to cut out Kaidus and Samsey were involved as well. What's that all about? What about a bridge swim?
I don't know. I heard so many different stories of that time, what actually went down, and I just can't be bothered. People always in the end tend to choose the easy way, the non-confrontation, and just make decisions when they think it's the easiest to make them. So what happened there happened. It's all human, what went down, and it was childish from both parties, from the Germans and from the Swedish, the way they acted after the Nations Cup. So I don't know, it's just water under the bridge for me, basically. Like, it's not relevant to me anymore since, I don't know, the changes for me recently. Like, I don't want to participate in these in these little drama stories. I will, obviously, because I will play the season and I will still have my TF2 persona being out there and saying the stuff that I will be saying, but
Real talk.
it will not bother me as much. Like, it's just TF2 for me now.
Just to bury that, like, back then, like, I don't really remember the details, but the impression I got was distinctly that we either made these changes or the team was just going to fold anyway. Like, so many people would end up leaving, that it would be dead. Like, we did actually, we folded for like 3 days, and then everyone got a boner at the idea of playing with Nox, so we ended up coming back. But like, we wouldn't have been, like, for anyone else, like, no other player would have probably motivated people to play again. I mean, it went terribly anyway, to be honest, but that was why, like,
It's
it
like
was
a perfect storm.
Yeah, he was the only one actually that could have stepped in because he was so respected by every single one, like everyone else of the team, that he could just completely control this mess and make it his thing.
Let me get a final question there then on that. I suppose directed to Kaidus. Have you lost respect for Nox then after what happened in the grand final, or was that just something that was inevitably going to happen, that the team was just going to fall apart?
I haven't lost respect for him. Like, I've always known that Nox has that side of him, like where he just can't be bothered, like that French defeatist thing, if you want to call it that. But like, I wouldn't say I've lost respect for him. I mean, it was annoying at the time, but like, I mean, in the final, we just felt like we're here now. Let's do our best, I guess. But he just, I guess he kind of his ego came into play, and he didn't want to be known for this game. Like, maybe he felt like if he tried hard and we got raped anyway, it would have reflected poorly on him. So he would have rather just not try and then come out saying, you know, didn't give a fuck or whatever.
Very weird reasoning.
But like, Nox has always had that. Like, when I remember playing a double mix and it was Viaduct, Nox didn't want to play Viaduct, so he just goofed around on heavy for the whole bloody game. It's just part of him. Like, you get the good and the bad, and the final just happened to show up the bad side of him.
All right, real quick.
Nox says sorry, team, in chat.
Let me ask everyone else. Like, it's just been about Ips and Kaidus and whatever for the last 5 minutes, but who's played against Daughter? Let me hear those results. Ski, did you get any scalps against them?
But they had snippets on demo, but we beat them 2 maps.
Screenshots, man.
Yeah, I can link you them.
I mean, if you have it on the screenshot, man, it counts, surely.
Yeah,
no matter who's playing demo.
You can see who plays demo, so. They did worse versus Made in Germany with snippets on demo, so.
We've not played them, no.
Dikker, have you played against them?
I don't count
we
it.
don't yet. So
I don't count it as playing against them.
I think they only played tonight with Rib for the first time, and they played the British team and some others. I don't know the results of the others.
We will play them again on Thursday, so they will have played a few days with Rib. It will be interesting.
But they got destroyed by IU Girl. They fucking raped them.
The other map.
Let's jump on that.
The other team who only started playing today.
Yeah, so AO Girl, Sugar Daddy, Hood Pussy Creepers is the other team based of one nation, more or less. We got English guys and a Welsh guy there.
UK.
We got Boss playing Medic, Mike on demo, Stark on Pocket, Poop Show roaming, aka Sideshow, Permzilla as Scout, and Hoku as Scout. And just sort of the story of the team, more or less, is that Poop Show put the team together. They got Permzilla in under the pretense that it was going to be a fun team. Then when they realised they had a sick roster, they decided to keen it up. And Permzilla was a little miffed at that. But these guys want to go Prem. And they hadn't actually played any results until today. But they've just beaten Daughter, so do we give them a spot in the Prem?
Can I get
the
Locks?
second scout?
Hoku. You know Hoku?
Okay, yeah, I know Hoku.
He was like sort of, I think it's in there, like, it seemed like last season he was going to join some teams, or he was thinking about it, but it never really happened around Div 1 or Prem. And he didn't play for anyone, but he was in that Solar Circle jerk for a long time.
He plays Div MGE.
Apparently they won the match tonight by backcapping 5 times on that map. That's unfortunate.
So not even
out-GM'd,
just outbrained.
Out-Gregged.
Okay, I will say
Rest in
something.
peace.
Oh, we got a log here from Dikker.
Dikker
This
will
on
say
the
something.
We played with them today. No, Mike was on demo. It's not so good as his soldier skills. Seriously.
12k damage, man.
Can you post them?
Yeah,
They're in
chat there.
stream.
Stream chat.
Sorry.
Mike's still carrying, regardless
this
of
one.
class.
Yeah,
I
they
think
have some problems with pink, I think, because 2 soldiers on crates on granary was just stuck. I don't know what, but they know not so super skilled like Sweden's maybe.
Who do you think the weak players are, Dikker? Who was bad?
Pemzilla!
of course.
Oh, wow.
Shots fired.
If Prem
He
gets in
didn't-
Prem, I kill
Yeah.
myself.
He didn't put us in playoffs first
I
time.
call conflict of interest.
Perm says he has 300 ping on that map.
And maybe show.
What is this other look that Dikker was posting with the 3-0?
It's for
What is that?
Swedes.
3-0, it's just 20 minutes. It's
Well, either way, you won 3-0 against them in 20 minutes, so...
I guess Dikker
it's-
should be in Prem then.
it was like
It
a
is.
fun game.
It is weird to draw conclusions of 2 teams that just basically started to play at that particular date.
But,
I
like, what
would
can we
never
do?
go so far to say, no, well, you can have playoffs, and then you see.
You want
You
f-
put them, you give them like another week to play. You put them in playoffs in the official situation, and then you let them battle it out.
Would you like to be in
You-
playoffs, Dikker? Would you like to play off to get into Prem, or do you think you'll stay in Division 1 this season?
Yeah, we will stay in Division 1.
You have no
Because
interest
we-
in playing in Prem?
No, you know, I wasn't calling last season. Anak was our caller and
Okay.
captain. I'm just medic who give info. And,
So this result is just an anomaly. It doesn't mean anything. You're not going to go Prem because you beat AO.
oh, we don't prepare yet.
Okay, okay. So let me hear some insight on these hood creepers, whatever. Who's played against them, or what do you think of the roster on paper? They've applied for Prem. Are they worthy?
Who?
I think it's going to
Hey, yo,
start.
girl.
They're going to start really well
UK team.
and then drop off.
We want them too.
Do you think they're good enough, Dikker? Do you think they deserve to be Prem? Do they want to play
No.
Prem?
No.
Not yet?
T1, yes, but Prem, no.
I'm going to vote for you to be in the admin team. I like this.
Thank you.
CommanderX, what do you're English, you know, you're down there. What do you think of these guys?
I don't think English teams ever work ever. I just don't think it can work.
I think the
They
harder
have
they
costs,
try,
right?
the worse they will get.
I think they'd be better off if they played in Division 1 and they saw it as a fun season, they'd probably win Div 1. But I think if they try and keen it up, there's just going to be too much conflict and whatever, and it's just going to fall apart.
I don't know how keen they intend to be. Like, from talking to them, it seems like they want to play Prem, but they're not going to be like try hard Prem. And I think that's what will be best for them. Like, they can play Prem, I think, and there will be like a wild card, and I think you'll see completely different performances out of them on different nights. But I don't know. I don't see them going that great for them if they try really hard, because there's a lot of personality in that team that when it gets heated could be quite conflicting. I think as long as it stays light-hearted, they will be able to like surprise people. But I think they could go on like a downward spiral if they get really emotionally invested in it. And yeah, that's my girlfriend typing. Sorry, gang.
So do you think like you're saying, if they try hard, they're gonna fall apart? Is that because like no matter how hard they try, they're not gonna be able to compete, or
Well, I wouldn't say
just
that. I wouldn't
change
say
the
that.
mood?
I just think like no, if they try their hardest, they're not going to be the best. I don't think anyway. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I think I don't know. Like Koss gets fucking angry. Mike in seasons gone by, maybe not anymore. I think he's matured a bit, but he always used to throw hissy fits. And Stark apparently is scary as fuck when he gets angry. I'm told. Plumzilla can get emo. Like all of them can get like pissed off and like rage quit. Not so much rage quit, but you know what I mean. They can all get really emo, and when that all kicks off at once.
Also,
could
the
just be a
three you
mess.
named are all the combo, like the Pocket, the Demo, and the Medic, so they're all going to be the ones watching each other and seeing each other. If someone messes up, they'll...
What's gonna happen
Call
if
it out.
half of that team hits puberty at the same time? That's gonna be awesome. Aren't they all still very young?
No, man,
like
they're at
15?
uni.
They're all at uni, pretty much all of them.
18 plus.
I thought
They're
you can
all
get to uni
adult.
with 14 in UK.
They're all like 18 plus.
They're all
That's
changed
what I mean.
prodigies, yeah.
Like Mike, I haven't really played with Mike for years properly, so maybe he's grown up a bit. I just remember that one story where he like rage quit infused because he killed the medic and his team didn't realize, so they held last expecting an Uber to come in, and then something went wrong, and then
That
he
was-
left the team an hour later.
That was Team Germany against Team Infused.
Yeah, like that's just a story I remember. I mean, it's years ago now, so I don't know Mike personally, so maybe he's developed a bit since then.
He's
But
been playing at Epsilon, man. He's been like winning everything.
Yeah.
But maybe when he doesn't win everything, if they're trying super hard, it won't be that fun for everyone. Who knows?
I don't know, they all get on, don't they? They all play a lot out of games,
That's what I
so
mean.
maybe
That's why I
that'll
think
go for them.
That's why I say I think they'll do great. I think they'll surprise a lot of teams if they keep it chill. But if they get really emotionally invested, I don't think they have the right mix of personalities to get really emotionally invested in it.
Fuck, Alex, what's going on?
Who's gonna keep costs alive? Like, let's theory craft a little bit. You know, whenever Stark played for Roberto with Bar, like, he likes to be very active with his 300 health. He's often jumping away. Some games that didn't work out well for Roberto. Mike is going to play more aggressively, I guess, because like he's a DM beast.
I think Mike will sit back and Stark will be more aggressive. But, like, at least in terms of the team fights and like mid fights and that sort of thing. Like, Stark was talking to me. He said like when they raped Broda earlier, he was just on ribs nuts the whole game, and Mike was just standing back and free to spam and getting 13k damage or however much it was. And I think that's pretty much how their approach will be.
And is it going to be the combo doing all the heavy lifting? And what about the flank? How are these guys going to stack up? I mean, the scouts and Roamer.
I don't know. I think that's probably the weaker side of the team. Like, I don't know. Sideshow's weird. Like, he can be good sometimes when he tries, but he's kind of goofy and doesn't try very often. But I think the scouts are probably the weak link. But if you have Mike putting out, like, against some demos, Mike's just going to put out so much damage that the rest of the flank's going to have such an easy ride of it. But I think when they come up against teams that can match Mike, they'll struggle a bit more.
Can you be specific? Like, what is it about the scouts? I don't know. I can't judge them. I haven't seen them play that much. Like, Permzilla seems pretty decent to me.
Yeah, but like, Permzella's pretty decent, but Mike's going to be one of the best demos in Prem. Like, there's just not much balance there, really. And I think Stark's a very good pocket. Like he can be aggressive, he can play a proper pocket role, but he's like one of the better players. But I just don't think they have the same quality in the flank. Like, I'm not disrespecting them and saying they're bad, but I think one half of the team, well, select individuals on the team can mix with the best, but I don't think the other half can.
Wouldn't that possibly cause conflict? Yeah.
Is that where the frustration might come in? You know, that you're saying.
Well, maybe. Like, I wasn't
different expectations.
It could be. Like, I'm not saying that will even happen. I just think it's a potential thing that
You've
could
said
happen.
it, man. This team's gonna fold.
I'm just saying it's possible. I don't think they'll fold. I think they'll play the season out, but maybe they'll change their approach halfway through. Who knows? But yeah, I just think the scouts like I think Stark and Mike can mix it with anyone in the division. But I don't think the scouts can go up against Bash and Sam, for instance. But I think that Mike and Stark could probably go up against me and Ips, like, to do a direct comparison.
True. Any final thoughts on AO Girl? We're going to jump to another mostly English team. Autobots finished second Division 2B. You got Wildfire and Medic. Jake's crazy. The new Numlocked on Demo Man. Stevie JJ on Pocket. Woody on Roamer. Koichi and Kim on Scouts. Apparently that roster has stayed the same since last season. Can they be contenders in Division 1? CommanderX.
I don't know. Like, when we were in the same division as them, like the same side of Div 2 last season, and like when we first started playing, they were beating us, and then when we got our act together, we crushed them. I think in the official we crushed them pretty easily. It wasn't really much threat. I don't know. I don't think. Did they apply for Div 1?
Yeah, applied for Div 1, but they didn't get the direct promotion. They only finished second.
I don't know. It depends. Like, I don't know how many teams are applying for Div 1 and whatever. If it's going to be playoffs again or whatever.
I have 16 teams in this list because this is like the teams that either had a spot already or had actually applied. So there's like obviously 16 places in Premiership and Division 1, and this seemed to. Maybe there's teams that missed it out on, but I'm giving them a shot for Div 1.
I know, like a lot of you have said, I'm happy to do playoffs for Div 1. I'm sure everyone else knows our team is, and that'll be the fairest way to do it, because it will, you know, at the end of that, there's a result on paper, and they can look at and say, well, you lost this match, you're not going into Div 1.
I think
I'd be happy for that.
Don't do playoffs because it means for like a week every season their forums actually get used.
Sideburns fired.
Like, some numbers
think
are good for playoffs. Like, if you have an odd number, you have to do like round robin and stuff to make it fair, and that can take a lot of time. And the real
just throw in another team.
The admin team is like that. They just assume that, oh no, we're never going to be able to like herd cats here and get teams that can all play, 5 teams that can all play on 1 or 2 days.
That's why you just announce it early. Like, they could have announced the playoff dates a month ago, But
At
they
the
just
same time,
choose
they
not
announced
to.
the rest of the stuff, the rest of the season.
Oh, Perm wrote in chat earlier they plan to do proper, at least some kind of playoffs, so I'm not going to get too up on
There's
it.
still
But
time. Like, I think I sort of misread the news post. And originally when I saw 2 weeks sign up, I was thinking, oh yeah, they'll have a week for playoffs here, but
Next
like they're not
next
actually going
week
to do
is
playoffs until after everyone's signed up, I guess.
yeah, next week is like a schedule week, so there's room, but it sucks when you still have to play playoffs and you don't know what div you're in and what you should prepare for.
Skeej, have you played Autobots recently?
I didn't
ever.
even know that Autobot still existed. I thought it died when CommanderX. I thought it was the same team, like Superstars and Autobots.
I remember we were trying to schedule, but number of times last season I'd asked to schedule like Find a Game, like PCW and IRC and whatever, and everyone still presumed I was searching for Autobots.
Yeah.
Like they still presumed I was in that team, and I had to explain to them, no, I've been in a different team for the last 2 months.
Hasn't like
Thank you for your
half
concern.
of Autobots and half of your team was like Autobots, right?
Me and Crouton were, and then like Woody and Koichi on the other side, so 2 players from each really, and then we both created 2 new teams, but they kept the Autobots name.
As I remember it, last season, like these guys wanted to go Div 1, but there was no playoff for it or not enough spots, and they ended up in Div 2, and they says, oh, we're not going to try. So if they get Div 1, they might try. Like, they have a decent
They
enough
lost
roster.
all motivation.
Yeah, exactly. Right, let me quickly scan up here. I'm trying to see who you've missed out on. Did we talk about this sort of
Lego.
Evocate and Lego, okay. Lego seems like the popular choice. They're like the least interesting team because they have no changes, and all that F2 would give me, you know, man, if you were to says, oh, we're just aiming not to get demoted. I think they could win.
I think they can make playoffs.
I don't know. I think because they're going to Prem, aren't they? They got the promotion, right?
They already in Prem.
They're already in Prem.
They're
Yeah.
guaranteed for Prem, and they won.
They can
won their way
get
in.
top 4. Why not?
I don't know. I don't think they've got the. I don't know. Like we PCW them last season, it was close, and we weren't that great. So I don't know.
You know one thing about Lego, they playing very shit practice games like Epsilon, but on officials they are strong.
Really?
I was going to say, we PCW'd them once last season, and they were the easiest PCW we had in the entire season of PCWs, and we played a lot of Div 1 teams because Prem last season was so awful. We had to play like Div 1, and they were by far like the worst team that I saw like of the entire Div 1, but then in the matches they won them all, so I think they're a team that you really can't judge anything from PCWs.
They just can concentrate on the official, don't make mistakes and etc.
I think they try and play a smart game. Like, the only game I can really remember casting last season was the one on Metalworks where Natural ran heavy for the whole game and really like controlled it. But like, he's still an excellent pocket, and him and F2 have a good dynamic. Dr. Phil, I'm not sure how he stacks up against other Prem demo men. I'm not sure if anyone can tell me.
No
But
idea who that is.
yeah, he's the Danish demo. Then you got Zen, the upcoming talent of the season, right? Or Premiership, or no, I thought it was upcoming talent of the season. You got Hellberg, who's like a 6 sniper. Is he a member of AA?
I think he is. Yeah.
Even
I know.
Connor is a member of A, so
Okay.
probably is as well.
I think. I don't know. There's no real standout players. You know, the only real standout name is F2, but they play really well as a team and they play together.
Yeah.
And that's their
Natural
strength.
as well. You know, he maybe didn't have a full season with any team, but he was associated with a lot of Prem teams. He at least
Prem.
yeah.
Didn't he play with
I think so.
with Samsey, Gubbins,
Yeah,
Exotic.
Phytech? Yeah.
Exotic
Exotic.
Island.
yeah, he played a season at least, or maybe I remember them saying they wanted to cut him. I don't know if they actually cut him ever. I didn't tune in to find out to that pirate radio, but he was definitely gonna he was in there at some point playing Prem, and they wanted to cut him. I don't know if they ever did or not. Tune in
think-
next week.
Yeah, I think the reason we wanted to cut him because he didn't jump in enough on pocket, like he didn't exploit.
Natural
His
also
health.
trialed on Pocket for Epsi, guys. Don't forget that.
Yeah,
Never forget.
Yeah. He's decent.
I think he's solid. What was I going to say? And he wrote that article as well. That was something I touched on about how teams should, or national teams should form, and then all these teams formed. I think like at that time, Zebasai had already decided to make a Swedish team anyway, but like Lego has been a sort of underground hit, and the fact that they brought together a team of all one nationality of of players that weren't necessarily that well known or that good, and they've like smashed Division 1 and now they're coming into Prem to prove themselves. It's really interesting story, and the return of F2, of course. I'm interested to see. I'm quietly optimistic that they
Are
can
you trying to big up
play a
your own
solid
article
game.
here?
Exactly. I'm just reading it out word for word, man.
It is nice to see though. Normally the Div 1 winners seem to be just like, I don't know, like DM all stars that just out DM the rest of the division. But like this team is just like relatively like subtle players just working together. It's like quite a nice story.
All right, let's move on. I guess. Anybody else got any thoughts on Lego? I'm gonna be rude here. Skeej, have you played these guys? You haven't said anything.
I haven't played them recently. Last time we played them was just after the season, and it's the same story as what Kaidus said. Like, we beat them with relative ease, but you know, they beat us in ETF2L. Did we draw? I don't remember. Or did they just flat out beat us? I don't remember. But yeah, I already said at the beginning when we started talking about Lego, I think they can make playoffs. I mean the Prem playoffs, the top 4.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
The Prem playoffs? What do you mean?
They could
mean
be top
top
4.
The end of season playoffs.
Yeah.
In Premiership?
Don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe if the Swedes stay shit, then maybe.
Yeah.
But if the Swedes get anywhere close to where they really should get, I don't think they'll be able to scratch it.
I don't know why, but I don't think the Swedes will live up to last Broder hype.
Well, probably not.
Oh,
but
yeah.
last Broder hype was second best team in the world, so I don't think many teams could ever live up to that.
Okay.
I think next season is just going to be between the Swedes and Made in Germany.
I don't think so.
I think it's TLR.
I think TLR are definitely up there.
Lego stole my Highlander team's tag.
Let's talk about a dark horse then. The
Evil
team
Cat.
that I first heard was going to keen it up for this season, just before Christmas, was the Evil Kate, who said that they're really going to try this season. Like the French last season, they reckon they weren't giving it 110%. You know, they were just sort of phoning it in a little bit. They've made a few changes. They've got rid of K3, or he's left because he wasn't enjoying it or lost interest in the game. There's a big age difference between him and the other players. So they brought in Bull from Desuro. They sniped him, almost killed Desuro, and they still have eggs on in demo. Tech is playing Pocket, T-Mac, Rome, Pla on Scout, and Flippy, who I think won off-classer of the season, will be playing Scout, Sniper, Engineer, whatever. Any thoughts,
Really
guys? Any
relevant
thoughts?
off-classing last season. We played them, and I was really surprised by how good T-Mac is on Romer when he's not playing in an English team. I think that's, again, one of these French things that, they're not so good on the English comms, and when we played against him, and he played in his old French team, he played a lot better than I remembered it. So, I think they're good. Have to watch out that, like, they have strong egos in their team, especially with Flippy and that guy. I think it's just Flippy, basically. Yeah, exactly. That they don't get too frustrated if things don't work out their way. But, if they pull it together, they can be really strong.
They've got
Especially
the
like
players.
Tech is like Tech had his hype a couple of seasons ago, and then he faded a bit back into the background as through the French teams losing their grip onto Premiership, basically. But I still think that he's one of the best soldiers out there if he has the right people around him. So
Is Tech calling in this team?
I wouldn't know.
Or,
No, I don't know.
like, I have no. I don't know who's calling.
I don't have that information, sorry. I feel.
Presumably it would be, can't imagine Exxon or... But I don't know what Bull's like.
The thing is, I couldn't imagine any of them calling because I only know how they are in English. And
Bull is really... sorry. Go on, sorry for interrupting.
I was just gonna say, like, Six said he couldn't imagine Exxon or T-Mac calling or something like that. But I think of all of them, heck, like, based on how he talks English, you wouldn't expect him to call any more than you would them. But when they speak French, they're completely different people, basically.
Yeah, and Bull is really Bull's English is very, very strong for a Frenchman, and I think maybe because he's that communicative in English already, he might just take it over in call as well, like having a calling medic and Tech.
Apparently,
really
it's
impressed
Wow
by
Wow are calling with Tech.
Who?
I don't know. That's what the guy in chat says.
It's not
Super
Bull.
Wow me and Tech is the answer. Who is that guy?
If
No one
that's
knows.
Bull, then it would make sense.
think
I don't
Bull is like a genuine talent as well. Like, was he not
Yeah.
the third nominee for Medic of the season? He finished behind.
Was he in
maybe
Deserto
it
last
was-
season?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like I remember that season that Pyrogen came in and only stayed for 2 weeks. But like just watching some of his games, he definitely had a.
He's good.
I loved
A great
playing with
read in
him
the
when he was murking in Reverge. I loved playing with him. Just because, I don't know, we had good cohesion and good chemistry together, and he's really good.
Super Wawa is Bull. It's just been confirmed in chat.
Okay.
It's been confirmed by Super Wawa, so he claims to be Bull. So
Okay. So yeah, that's if
Alright.
they both go together, then that's a really good calling combo for the French team.
Who has played against him? Let me hear some results. How are they faring? Have they played?
No idea.
I think
Can't
we have a
nobody's
game
played them.
scheduled versus them. Oh no, we had to cancel it.
We won.
Frenches.
Yeah.
Didn't we tie with them on one map or something?
Nah, the only map that I got close on was when TLR beat us so far, if I recall right. If that's
No.
wrong, then
Our first
did
game
they
on
tie?
Granary, they tied.
oh
with
yeah,
us.
it was when Exxon just jumped in from the stem
Yeah.
corner all the time. Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, they have some unique strats. Let's call it like that.
Another
So,
bit
yeah.
of info here. Like we've gone through all the teams now, but just another little update is that Slate may also be trying out for Deserto as a replacement for Shifty, I guess. Any thoughts on Slate? It's another German soldier. There's millions of the bastards.
I love him, great guy. Don't think he's ready for it. I think he would need another season, 1 or 2 seasons in a good stable Div 1 team to learn his shit.
Who's this?
Slate.
You think it
I
was
know
too
your
soon for him
opinion
to go to
about him,
Cosmic
so-
Can?
Pardon?
Was it too soon for him to play
Yeah,
Prem and
definitely.
Cosmic Can?
And they like Cosmic Can itself had the people in Cosmic Can already knew their shit. Like Beaver knows how to play a Premiership Scout, and Waltis does, and Brigo knows how to play Demoman. So I don't think there was a lot of like learning together, you know. So he just got thrown in there. He was forced into a certain game play style, and now he's stuck with it and can't really evolve. And yeah, never really surprised me, and I never rated him as a threat when we played against him. So yeah, I think he needs more time. Can be good,
Right.
but it's not good now.
Let's finally just theorycraft as to who deserves to be in Prem. We've already said that we got TLR, Deserto, Evocate, and Lego all with a guaranteed spot. There's 4 spaces there. A lot of people would say, give one to me in Germany. People might have said Daughter before they started seeing these results. Or should it just be a massive playoff clusterfuck with 6 teams or whatever playing off for 4 spots?
Why not?
Pirmzilis team.
What do the
he's
chat think?
admit-
Do they want to see a massive playoff, or is there
Bring
some
the
sort of
hype.
compromise we can come to?
playoff is always the best.
Yeah,
Let me
it's good
count them
for
out on my
everyone.
hand here.
It's the fairest way and it's the most entertaining way for everyone.
Yeah.
So
If they put,
And
it-
nobody-
if they
you
put it
can't
back
blame
on a week
anyone
though,
else.
then this is the scare story. They said that, or the admin said if they added another week to the schedule or whatever, there would be no season 18. It couldn't be fit in. It wouldn't possibly work.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's the annual schedule.
So wait, when does season 18 meant to finish then?
I don't
With
know.
that in mind.
But
Because
they
I'm pretty
try
sure
and
if
balance
I
out
could-
between Highlander and stuff as well.
Like I'm pretty sure it's always a horribly inconvenient time because like 80% of TF2 players
Oh,
are
during
students,
exam season,
and
yeah.
it always goes like I don't know why they're so like we must finish on this X date because it always goes through a bullshit time when no one can play anyway. It's ridiculous. I don't even know what we're talking about. I just put my headset on again, but
Right, let's say the teams.
I'm getting
Am I-
flashbacks to
am I on the
Pirate
right
Radio.
lines?
The teams that don't have a guaranteed spot in the Premiership but have applied. You got Phoenix there, Skeej's team. Then you have to go all the way down to the new teams. So you got Phoenix, made in Germany, Daughter, AO Girl, the Russians as well. They want a shot, Lethal Weapon, and May Lamul. So that's 6 teams, and like that's a tough number to do playoffs with. Like if you wanted all those teams to play, you have to do like a 6-team round robin, which is like, I don't know the math, but a lot of games. Just best of one. You're gonna need a few days to do that.
Well, yeah, but if you just give Made in
What?
Germany and the Swedes
So-
a spot,
But like the Swedes have seemed to have terrible results. Are we just gonna take that on good faith that they would play well in officials, or are we actually gonna challenge
Yeah,
them?
that's true. It's like that would be double standards then.
I don't know.
Let them prove themselves in a match where things matter.
But then
Personally,
we're
I
stuck
can't
in that
speak.
16 round of robin thing.
I can't speak for my team, but for me personally, playoffs won't make sense, just because there's so many people just freshly starting over.
You have a week, right? So it's 5 days. It's perfectly acceptable to ask teams to have availability for 3, overlapping days at least.
No.
That's
What
how
if you just throw in
Well,
2
how-
more teams, so it's an 8-team playoff? Just give a couple of.
You want to ask me how we're going to do it in the season then?
Yeah.
Just with scheduling? You know,
like
you
the way
can
they would
play.
do it, like if we're trying to create a playoff, they would just ask the teams, nominate some days that you want to play, and then it would be like the median, whichever one appears most frequently would be picked. And if some team couldn't play on the days that were decided, then too bad.
You can play 6 maps in one night, easy.
Most of these problems come about because they always if they ever at this playoffs, you find out about them like 2 days before they happen.
Like what?
It's always the
What were we,
same.
a week away from the
have
start?
said they could have said like in December, okay, Sunday the 20th of January, or whatever the fuck it is, 1 day cup. If you want to be in Prem, show up this day. If you can't show up this day with 2 months' notice, you don't deserve to be in Prem. It's it's fucking easy.
The only thing I remember from last Fully Charged is Admirable basically begging for proper playoffs for the next season, and nobody listened again.
It's cool. It's cool. It didn't work when I was on the admin team. It's going to work when I'm not.
I don't get it.
I don't think. Well, I'm probably being pessimistic here, but I'm not sure. We're definitely not going to see a 16 playoff.
Yeah, but why don't you
hardly
just throw 2 more teams in, and then suddenly you've got a 4-team playoff, and it's just an easier fucking
4 teams would be good because you could
map
do
to
like
bring.
double elimination or whatever.
Yeah, and then,
And then
even,
like-
even if the other teams maybe are never going to win, like it just makes it easier. And then,
But then who?
know.
Okay, then who is that team that we put through? Who is the daughter?
Us.
No, you and someone else.
Not Dodder, TLR.
TLR already in.
Till,
they already-
has a
sorry,
guaranteed
sorry.
spot.
No, I mean, so the playoffs between 8 teams, so you just have like,
Oh god.
The thing
so
is,
you
does
have
it,
like
Let's
2 sides of
make-
4
The thing is,
for each spot.
does it even really matter though? Like, say it was the Scandies, like, whichever team then had to play playoffs and then didn't make it through, they're not going to look back and say, like, didn't get through because they put the Scandies in automatically, because they lost playoffs. If you can't win playoffs, then you don't deserve the automatic spot. So you have nobody to complain about if you then lose playoffs. It doesn't really matter who gets through. Those teams are
If
lucky.
you're the third best team, then you do. You should be pissed off.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why you should just put all the
But-
teams in and just.
But I don't think the third team... I think it's obvious enough the Scandies are better than the third best team in playoffs. Like, I
Is it
mean...
though?
Not now, that's the problem.
Yeah, after today, obviously not.
Yeah.
It's their first day playing. Rib hasn't
Exactly,
played the game for
exactly.
2 months. Probably like they're gonna be better than they were today. Like it's a given.
Yeah.
But all of these teams are new, or at least
Not that
part
new
of them,
though.
Or
Not that
rusty,
new,
or-
like.
or
But that-
haven't played, or new
Yeah, but this,
lineup.
yeah,
But
and this
of
otter
course,
is also not
everybody
that new. Like, you can say whatever you want. They're, again, then Team Sweden, and they know each other, so it's all back and forth.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
sometimes when you put these all-star players together, you get this, this honeymoon effect where they actually perform way better in the beginning than later. So, it's not always the fact that, if you just start out, you're gonna get worse results than later on.
Well, no, but I don't know.
There's
Rib
4
did 7k
squads.
damage. That's all I know.
And there's 4 spots if you don't get one to make. And there's
What did you
6
say?
teams.
I said Rib
Yeah.
did 7k damage today against the Brit team, and I think give him a week to get back into it, and he'll pretty much double that per
Maybe
game.
they just effectively shut him down.
Well, yes, but at the same time, Rib will get back into it and will be able to adapt to being
Like he
shut
did
down.
last time.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't you remember last time when they first brought Rib back into the old Broder team, and there was that period where
And
Rib was a
I'm-
bit rubbish and not as good as the rest
and
of his
I
team.
made the serious mistake of in that period with Infuse where we would way back when Broder started, when we would beat them constantly, that I would just underestimate them, and then they just came through very, very strong. Ended up second place in the world. I don't know.
I've got an idea. Hear me out. Maybe my logic's totally fucked up. So there's 6 teams, right? We make 3 matches, just best of 1, whatever. The 3 teams that lose, we'll seed them first. So like you'd put Mig against the worst team that wants to come in. I don't know, the Russians, whatever. And from those 3 matches, the 3 losers then go and play a 3-team round robin, and whichever team
For the final
wins
spot.
that gets in. So the teams that everybody has to win a game to get through.
So we play against the worst team.
We'd seed it like 1 to 6.
Oh, okay.
And 1 plays 6, 2 plays
I
5.
don't mind.
And then that's
sounds
only
like-
what two play nights you're asking from each team with between here and the 26th.
You play it all in 2 nights, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable between now and so the 26th is the official start date of the season. I think that's what 13 days to play 2 nights.
Yeah.
Anyway, theory crafting. There's food for thought, admins. Let's wrap this up. Promote Pickup 2 one more time. Head over to ETF2L forums. There's a thread there. If you're a Division 2 or above player, you should be in there. We need more people so that everyone can get good now that Epsilon's dead.
What?
The best team in Europe is dead, man. The bar has been lowered. Please step your game up.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Check out
Every day.
whitelist.tf as well, you know. Veethoof once uploaded it. It's nice. You can see the unlocks visualized. It's beautiful. And check out that Team Fortress TV article I wrote. Add me on Twitter at Admirable Player. Add Ips. He's at Ips the Twit. You still using Twitter, Ips?
Not anymore since I got harassed by the pledge and what is his little guy called? His sidekick? Scully.
This little guy.
Wait, you got harassed? What happened?
Oh, they just said that one day this open casting policy of Team Fortress TV would bring out the worst in the communities, the trolls.
Oh, is that the time you got drunk?
Yeah, that was the time we got drunk
Okay.
casting. And then they harassed me with their caster gang on Twitter, so I stopped. It was so mean.
Aw.
You can add John as well. He's at Blackout John. Anyone else on Twitter or wants to promote anything, now's the time to speak.
Let's just all be nice to Ips next season.
Yeah, please.
Oh,
I
I
have
add
to
at
maybe.
Team Fortress
It's
TV as
in
well.
Russian, yeah.
And Dikker is at
Yeah,
lustig_Dikker.
It's Russian Twitter. Big bad words.
Thanks to thanks to all our panel. I've loved the Russian input today. I think that was the best decision I made all day. Thanks for coming along, Dikker. And
Yeah, you're welcome.
Skeej, I think I told you last season I want to cast with you, man. Gonna make it happen.
We should try. Find some time.
CommanderX, you can cast with me too. I allow it.
Wow,
Thanks, buddy.
okay.
You may kiss my ring. And Kaidus, he's never going to cast with me.
Always
Ips,
busy, forever
we'll
busy.
cast again. But you guys are all going to be in playoffs, so it doesn't matter. Have to
Lots
get
of
fucking
business meetings.
Joker or Ryushi. Fuck that guy.
Oh,
Good
God.
night. It's over. Thanks, John, for casting.
I'm
as
gonna
well,
cast a
streaming.
bit with you next season. I promise I
Season
will be
17 is
around.
going to be great. I swear, whatever the prizes are.
They're gonna be good prizes.
Yes.
Sonny Black officially talked to Kenfo, who's working for TT Esports in Hamburg at the moment, about the prizes, the hardware prizes of next season. I know all the shit. It's gonna be good.
Level 10 M mouse.
Alright, thanks. Good night.
Play normal.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, good night. Shoutouts to Sonny Black.
Bye. Out to you,
Fuck
Ben.
Primzilla. Fuck to Primzilla.
Oh wait, when's the ESEA stuff happening? Is that scheduled yet? Next round? After that amazing game? Ips, any insight on that?
What?
When are you playing ESEA again?
We? No,
yeah, you
idea.
know that another round of the playoffs? The
ECA
final?
website says it's tomorrow.
Shit,
Maybe,
let's do it.
maybe tomorrow. Am I? What is tomorrow?
Oh wait, no, it's
Third
Thursday. It's changed
Tuesday.
now. It's Thursday for Epsilon. And
Are we still on air, John?
Saints versus TCM
There
is
is
meant to
too
be tomorrow.
admirable on stream.
I can't see it. Internet too bad.
What a long fucking
Admirable potato.
podcast.
I just go